lot more.
I'm worth more.
You know what? You're right. And we want to pay more at Give Me the VIN, because good cars are worth more, and so are you. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
They say a good lawyer knows the law, and a great lawyer knows the judge. What they don't tell you, the right lawyer in your corner can help you avoid a 5-round match. At TK Law, we help you cut the drama, resolve your disputes, and move forward. Divorce, business conflicts, car accidents. We are trusted by our clients, respected by our peers, and proven where it matters the most. Don't just settle for a lawyer. Choose the right lawyer. Choose TK Law. One firm for life. Visit onefirmforlife.com.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Good news if you're considering a reverse mortgage. Rates have improved again this week. Get a same-day quote at thatmortgageguyDon.com.
With thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. Hey, y'all see Hard Rock Bet has new promos daily?
Y'all looking for me, John Daly?
No, John. We're just talking about Hard Rock Bet promos.
So not me, John Daly.
No, promos daily. Like bonus bets or profit boosts.
That's my kind of promo.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Looking for a workout that doesn't feel like a workout? At Crush Yard, wellness is all about movement, connection, and fun, no matter your skill level. Whether you've never picked up a paddle or you play every week, pickleball gets your body moving and your stress levels down. Adding great food, refreshing drinks, and a social atmosphere, and it's wellness you actually want to show up for. Learn more at CrushYard.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $2.
Happy Monday, y'all. What's happening? Hello. Brand new week. Good to go. Got 15 feet of snow this week. Oh, I'm reading it, it's him. What a goon. 3 to 4 inches out in Colorado. All right. I actually had the AC on a couple days. Just, it was warm in the house. And I made a joke. I was like, "Oh, we should post about it on social." I bet that we'll get a lot of sympathy from the rest of the country. Aaron Benson Havers looking for the invite. What's happening, big digits? The weather out there. Oh. Who knows such things? It was a little rainy on the way in. F off. I'm sorry, Lori. But you just give me like 15 seconds here and I will F off so that we can start the show. We won't get cold until tomorrow down south. Yeah, I thought it's going to drop today. It's going to drop like 9 degrees in an hour or two, I think. Or at least that's what I heard. Who knows such things? Fresh keyword incoming. Bonus is the keyword. Let's do it.
Question after an accident? Just call Mo. Visit justcallmo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. 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 Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers. The News Junkie is on. The three best friends you never knew you had, running through the most viral stories of the day. The News Junkie Sean Wasson with Sabrina and C-Lane.
It is Monday, January 26th, 2026. Lots to get to today, from the ICE Meltdown to Miami Airport turns into chaos after a mysterious bomb threat. And the Patriots and Seahawks are headed for Super Bowl 60. Plus your calls, dispatches, emails, texts, and more. Hey there, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hello, C-Lane.
What's happening?
And hello to you. You can join us on the show today. As always, send us a dispatch at thenewsjunkie.com right now. You can also watch the show on YouTube and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your messages rolling right into the studio in real time. How's everybody doing on a Monday?
Mostly good. Yeah.
Same. You?
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm just glad we're not everywhere else in the United States of America where they got like 7 feet of snow this weekend.
It was really weird. Yesterday, I went on a jet ski, and no one else in the U.S. could say that.
I know. I love that. I feel bad about it, but I also love it in a way. Just that there's a level of that seems kind of rude to the other people. Well, what are we supposed to do?
Post about it on social media, you know?
Yeah.
Did I? Oh, I need to.
Do we go outside and just throw snow around so we can join in with you friends of ours who are buried in this stuff? It's just, It doesn't make a lot of sense, okay? We have many, many, many things to get into today, as one could imagine. It was a busy weekend. We'll talk about everything happening on planet Earth, all things viral and all the rest. But I want to introduce you to our challenge today, if you will. Ooh. It's a Rate My Blank Monday. What are we rating today? Thought this was a fun idea. Okay, introducing a new type of Rate My Blank on the show for Mondays. Rate My Doodle. Okay?
Like Golden Doodle?
Today, C-Lane edition. You have to draw C-Lane, rate my doodle.
Oh, gosh.
All right? And I want to see you draw C-Lane, take a photo of it, submit it as a photo dispatch over on thenewsjunkie.com.
Give him a clear shot of your face, C-Lane.
Yeah, get a good look. If you're watching on the stream, let's just take it all in.
What could
all
go
the
wrong?
features. He's got a beard. You know, he's got a floppy little hair thing going on there.
What?
He looks a bit like, and I don't mean this in a mean way at all, C-Lane. I don't. An American legend. He looks like an American legend, Al Borland, right? The guy next door on.
Okay. He's not the next door neighbor. Wilson was next door.
He's like the Tool Time co-host.
Yes.
That's that guy. Yeah. He looks a little bit like him, but don't draw that guy.
I don't think so, Tim.
Rate My Doodle is what our challenge is today. So draw C-Lane, it's C-Lane edition. Draw him, send it in as a photo dispatch over on thenewsjunkie.com. We'll take a look, we'll rate him, we'll pick a winner here today on the show. All right, let's put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse. Let's see what's happening to this great, big, wide world of ours. And we go to a press conference, everybody.
Yay.
Where a woman can't find the words she's looking for. Hate when this happens. It's happened to me various times on this show, where you want to, in your brain, more than anything in the world, to say something nice and eloquent, and it just doesn't show up for you. You're just sitting there waiting. And this lady was talking about Somalia, and then she was saying, like, Somalia is much more than people think. Somalia is, and then she just doesn't come up with it. Let's listen in.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like It's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go away from the bananas and rice.
Full circle, no problem.
She goes, look, it's so much more than bananas and rice. It's it's like bananas and rice, which I don't know that I've ever tried that combination.
It's a good time. Bananas, rice, and picadillo, which is like your ground beef with some great seasoning. Are
we talking about mushy bananas, though? Because mushy bananas with the texture of rice seems like it might be weird.
I personally have just done a slice of banana with that meal, the rice and the ground beef picadillo that has like a lot of good spices in it, and that sweet and salty mixed together. Fantastic.
It's more than just bananas and rice. It's bananas and rice is what it's all about. I got to get down to the nitty gritty here because I am so uncomfortable and
oh, buddy,
I don't even like. So I forgot that we had talked about the Netflix guy who's gonna this daredevil who's gonna crawl to the top, climb to the top of this 1,667 foot building. And then C-Lane goes, he texted me on Friday night, and I think he said like, oh, there was weather issues and he canceled it. And so I started to think, oh, this guy's probably not going to do it. Maybe there'll be like a run of bad weather.
No, they postponed it to Saturday.
Yeah, and so they postponed it to the next day that he was going to climb this huge skyscraper with no ropes, no nothing, just out there, just this guy climbing this building. I've seen a couple interviews with this guy, and he's like super powered autism. Like climbing is his thing. And when they ask him questions in interviews, it's so funny because all he thinks about is climbing. Every answer is like climb.
They kept trying. There was one that I watched that I think was like New York Times or something, and they kept trying to ask him questions about like, well, hey, like you could die doing this. Like, is that a concern? And all the answers were very acoustic. They asked about bringing his baby up a mountain.
What?
And
that's what I heard.
They're like, how do you? How would you bring your baby up this mountain? And he goes, you just put the baby in a backpack and 8 mile backpack hike, as if the reporter was stupid for not knowing the answer.
Duh.
Let's see, Alex Hanold is his name. I want to go to because I saw the clip C-Lane's talking about, and he's like, yeah, I might climb up a mountain with my baby, and the lady is so dumbfounded. The lady who's interviewing him, like, your baby, wouldn't this be dangerous? And then I think he was just kind of winging it when he said it. And he just kept trying to explain. He's like, I don't know. I don't know. And the lady's like, aren't you scared your baby is going to die? And
dog.
This guy is built so different. It's kind of crazy. Okay, here it is. This is the interview C-Lane's talking about with the guy who scaled that building live on Netflix. We'll get to some of those moments in a second, but he's super-powered autism on display.
How do you get a baby up the mountain?
Well, hiking around the back is like no issue. That's just, 8 miles in a backpack. Mm-hmm. If I have to ascend the ropes on the side, then it's the same thing. The baby would be in the backpack, but he would also just be wearing a little harness, and then he would be like independently attached to the ropes, separate from the way I'm attached.
Okay.
And so then I would just be climbing the ropes like normal, which is not very hard if you know how to do it. And then the baby would just be backed up.
Okay.
I mean, I think it'd be totally fine. Like, I honestly don't think it'll be any problem.
And then how will you come down? You can hike back down, right?
We'll all rappel down the ropes.
All of us, even the baby.
How do you get a baby to rappel down the ropes?
She goes, how do you get a baby to rappel down the ropes? And he's like, he hasn't thought about this. This man hasn't thought about this for more than 7 seconds before this interview. He's just brought it up and he's like,
but he's got it mapped out.
I think.
Can you describe, just so they know? So how do you rappel down with a baby?
Well, so I would be rappelling just like normal, but I would have a backpack with a baby inside it, and then the backpack or the baby would be independently backed up to the rope, like separate from my system.
Next question, dumbass.
Listen. I would be rappelling just like normal, but I would have a backpack with a baby inside it.
Mission accomplished, lady. What do you want?
And then
the JanSport
correctly, he also wanted to have the baby on a separate baby harness.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And do you put the, the hand stuff that looks like flour LeBron James uses?
The baby has a tiny little baby chalk that he reaches in.
Riddle me this.
I hate this, man.
With our AI technology, can we get that that I want to see a
probably.
baby rappelling off the side of a mountain.
Oh, I don't know if I think this guy may just do it. I think he may just do it because watching this dude is the daredevil Alex Hanold. He climbed this building successfully. A little bit of the footage just makes me so queasy and uncomfortable. And he puts a hand behind his back while he's adjusting, and there are no ropes. There's nothing. And he just so calmly, almost nonchalantly climbs up the side of this skyscraper, which to any normal human being, and I say normal, air quotes, all this stuff. But for me, I don't have whatever this guy has.
That's muscles in your fingertips.
But it's not that. It's not that.
No.
That certainly separates me from him. He is a very, very strong man with way more upper body strength than I'll ever touch. But whatever's going on in his brain, this is frightening to me. I would be paralyzed by fear.
I told Ashley Saturday night when we were watching this guy, I was like, I have something in my brain that he either doesn't or he has turned it off or something because you see where he is when he gets to the top of this little feature here, he stands at the tip of the little thing and just waves at people. I mean, I think just standing there would knock me over.
I would vomit. I would be vomiting on all the people watching who are just there to see if he falls off, not understanding that if he did, how traumatic that would be to see a man splat onto the ground.
And he was up there. This was a huge building he climbed up on live on Netflix. He gets to the top, takes a picture of himself. There was some people who were filming from inside one of the upper floors.
They had signs, some of them.
Yeah.
Go, Alex. You got
it's windy. It's windy as hell, and this guy's way up there, and this is just what he does. He is just somebody. There you go, Kelly on YouTube. He doesn't have the appropriate amount of fear. To me, I agree. I think he doesn't have the appropriate amount of fear. But I'll be damned. There's a guy who will do a thing like this.
John says one gust of wind. Look at it.
He's in the wind.
It's nonstop wind.
The guy's on top of a skyscraper with hundreds of people just on one floor alone watching him videotaping. I mean, he's just cool as ice. And
just putting more flour on his hands. That's too much. I'm getting a little queasy.
I don't like it. It gives me that same feeling, the vertigo feeling over and over and over and over again. I am not a fan, but congratulations to that dude.
That shot that you have up there right now?
This one?
Yeah. Did you see this part where he he's not holding on to anything, like he's just doing leg strength so he can re-chalk his hands? That was one of the most ridiculous things.
Right here. He's at the top. He's at the top, and there's sort of this spiral on the building, and he puts his legs in there, and he holds on with just his legs like you might on a monkey bar or something. And then he lets his hands go, and he's like,
You're almost there. Why are you re-chalking right now?
Bro, it's like my whole life I go, I want to do whatever I can to try to make it a little further down the line. And this guy's did somebody tell him at birth that if you fall and die, you regenerate like a video game? And
if they did, I feel bad for his baby who's going to be in a backpack in a couple months.
That's another thing, and I want to turn this into a pseudo conversation before we get into all the, we'll get into everything happening today, all the ice stuff and all that's in the actual ice from the snowstorm. We'll get into all of those things. But one thing that I saw that I thought was interesting, this guy who climbed the skyscraper on Skyscraper Live on Netflix, Alex Hanold, he was in Taipei, 1,667 feet tall. He goes all the way to the top of this building. And when he was doing an interview with the New York Times, they just kept asking him over and over and over again, what if you die? What about your kids? What about your wife? And it was what C-Lane was saying. It was like this fundamental breakdown of he's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to die. But they're like, well, what if you do though?
He also kind of made it sound like, well, the kids, the younger ones, they won't remember it. So it's going to be hard on my wife, but they're taken care of. Okay. So it's not like I'm leaving them, out in the dirt or whatever.
He's got one kid that's like 2 or something. He's like, that kid would never remember me, so it wouldn't be a problem. He goes, and then I got a 4-year-old who probably wouldn't remember any of this, so it wouldn't be too traumatic.
But yeah.
He goes, my wife would be traumatized for sure, but she's set up financially, so
he said,
wow. He said zero emotion in this man's body.
He said, no, she won't be. It's not like it will be lifelong trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But the other thing is, we don't do this with a lot of other feats that people try to pull off. We don't try to convince them not to do it the whole time because they have a family and they're going to die. That's weird on another level. It's weird in as much as you say, well, what if this guy didn't have a family? Is it okay? Climb the building. If you die, you die.
You say there's no lifelong trauma, but that's something that's impossible to just predict with somebody. And then she has to live her life without this guy. And like every time she has a friend whose spouse dies, they're like, oh, that person had a heart attack. Oh, that person died of cancer. Oh, that person, the tragic accident. It's like, well, you can't choose not to have cancer. You can't choose not to have. You could do things to not have a heart attack, but sometimes things happen. You could choose not to climb a building.
100%. Yeah,
but
I do it every
he got a
day.
whole 6 figures for it.
But the man wants to climb. That's what he wants to do. This is in his core. It's in his body. He just wants to do it. So the question I have for you is like, is it fair to ask people stuff like that? To say, hey, you have children. How could you even do this? And to almost try to shame him for attempting this feat that he thought was some personal journey he wanted to go on. And then all of the questions are like, how could you do this? What if you die? Your kids are going to be left behind. It's a little strange in and of itself, but I want to see what you think about it. Send a dispatch over to thenewsjunkie.com. We'll take those doodles, rate my doodle, draw C-Lane version. We already got some of those coming in. We got emails. We got everything happening out there in the world. A busy show for a Monday, and it's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733. From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Hello.
Or you're just going to get caught up in some typical slowdowns between Osceola Parkway and Apopka Vineland Road. Other than
welcome in, everybody.
Accidents, tying you up or slowing you down.
Welcome to a Monday.
Traffic troubles, call the Valvoline.
Good to have you on board.
Traffic tip line at 8.
Folks, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Creamy, we got to have you wake up, buddy. Creamy.
This report is sponsored by Valvoline.
Creamster.
Need a change this year? Drive into Valvoline Instant Oil Change for an always quick but never rushed.
Creamy about to climb a building himself.
For money-saving coupons, go to VIOC.
Hey, everybody.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Crazy Drunk Cat Lady says some people just ain't right in the head. I think it's an interesting conversation that when somebody's trying to pull off an accomplishment and we limit them by saying like, well, what if you die? What if you fall and get splat on the sidewalk? Your kids, think of your wife. We only do that with certain things. It's very strange, very interesting.
Saturday, January 31st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's time to touch a truck.
Okay, be safe. Tell them I said hi.
For more details.
Hey, Craig. Weekend was solid. Hope yours was good too. I know a lot of you got slammed with that weather. That was just unbelievable, man. Unrelenting, unending snow and ice. How many of you in chat saw snow this weekend? Anybody? Anybody hit with a good amount of snow?
Less effort in the gym, you're going to feel better, you're going to sleep better, and you're going to love a little bit better, if you know what I mean.
VG says maybe he's a true narcissist. This gets at my question, though. We don't do this with other things. For instance, we don't ask the NASCAR racer on a Sunday, well, hi, why would you even try this? Why would you even try to win this race? It's so dangerous. You're going 200 miles an hour in this NASCAR, and you can smash into other people, and many other drivers have died. Think about your kids, think about your wife. We just look at them and say they're challenging themselves and they're trying to win this sport, you know? No snow in Titusville? Not yet. NASCAR is way safer? How many people have died climbing buildings like this, and how many NASCAR drivers have died? Because I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. You're just saying that like it's true because it seems that way. You know what I mean? You're saying this because it's like logically it seems like climbing a building is more dangerous than driving a NASCAR.
but you're leaving out that the guy who's climbing the building is as skilled as can be, and the guy who's driving the NASCAR vehicle is as skilled as can be. More NASCAR drivers die in plane crashes than car crashes. Too good to look up. Sounds right, though. I asked those questions about NASCAR. I don't. Why should we reduce people from the amount of challenges they can put on themselves by trying to make them face the mortality of their own lives and what drama they would leave behind if they failed, instead of what happens if they succeed? That's because NASCAR has invested heavily in their R&D division. There are less people climbing buildings than NASCAR drivers. Yes, probably. But this is not to suggest that in the entire world there are some large or shocking number of NASCAR drivers. There are not. There are a large number of mechanics. There are a large-ish number of radio hosts. There are a large number of teachers. There are a large number of cops. There are a large number of ICE officers. But there are not a large number of NASCAR drivers. What do we got, a couple hundred in the world? Maybe that's high even, right? NASCAR is an Epstein distraction? True. 128 fatalities in NASCAR, 20 of them spectators. Not yet 100 deaths from climbing buildings as of 2010, says Cat Butthole. Too good to look up, but I'll take you at your word. We're going to get into the ICE stuff, obviously, in Minnesota. I got some fiery takes on this. One thing that I think is very interesting, I've been talking about how ICE is just getting demolished in the PR war, right? Which I think is just obviously true. But the more interesting thing to me is the stat that I saw this weekend, which said as the tide is turning drastically, public opinion is turning drastically against ICE interactions in Minnesota, the amount of people who said they saw the Renee Good video, 85%. 85% of Americans said they saw the shooting of Renee Good by ICE officers. Now, 85% of Americans haven't seen some terrible violent criminal get arrested by ICE and like a positive thing that most people would support, but it's going to affect the way the public views you if 85% of the public has seen a video where you kill a lady. That's crazy. Okay, 45 seconds. We're coming back right now. Let's get down to it. Here we go. Copyright, copyright, copyright. Copyright, copyright, copyright. All right. Come on. Why are we playing so much of this music? All right, here we go.
Nirvana, Lannis, Pearl Jam, Weezer, No Doubt, and more. With Global Free Weekend. Your favorite era, just a tap away. Open the free iHeartRadio app and listen now.
For all your plumbing needs, go to modernpi.com.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. 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 Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
The most viral newsroom on the planet is still humming along. This is
On Friday, and I'll give you an update on that, the whole podcast kerfuffle, the whole drama around the podcast, and we'll get to that here at some point on the show. We got our friend Amy Caulfield joining us a little bit later on today. Always lovely to talk to her on a Monday. She gives us some good idea of what people are blabbing about out there in her world, so we'll chat with our friend Amy K in about 30-plus minutes or so. There are a million things going on and on the radar today. I'll tell you one thing that we did this weekend was, I don't even know how Courtney found it, but we went to watch this movie. We got a sneak peek of a movie. And it wasn't even like a radio guy gets sneak peek of a movie. They just released it in a bunch of theaters the week before they were going to release it. And Courtney goes, there's a couple of screenings of this. Do you want to go watch this movie, Send Help? It was the one that we had talked about on the show.
Rachel McAdams is stuck with her boss that she doesn't like.
Yeah, and she hasn't been in a movie in a handful of years. Rachel McAdams, who is from Mean Girls.
Wedding Crashers, yeah.
Wedding Crashers, that's right. She's the main bride in Wedding Crashers. I totally forgot about that. And she was in this movie with the guy. I always get the guy who is in Send Help confused. I get him mixed up with the actor from The OC. Because I watched that when I was young. I watched The OC on Fox or wherever it was. He's not. He's the guy from the Maze Runner movies.
Yeah, Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah, they look like to me they look very similar. I don't know why, but I confused the like dark-haired guy. I confuse the two of them all the time. But I said, this sounds fun. It's this woman who hates her boss. They are going on a trip together. The plane crashes, and this woman with her boss that she hates gets stranded on an island.
You're thinking of Adam Brody from the OC?
Yeah. He looks like that guy. And I thought, this sounds interesting and fun. And it was one of the few movies where this never happens, honest to God. When we left the theater, Courtney goes, what did you think? And I was like, I was like 2.5 out of 5, right? I was like, right in the middle. It was okay. And Courtney's like, what? And she was blown away. She was like, I loved it. We diverged on this one. Maybe it might target women a bit more. And the women in the theater were yucking it up. Like, they were laughing. So
it was funny. Okay. I thought it was a thriller for some reason.
It was funny, Sabrina. And it was also this guy in his movies, the creator. Can you look up the name of the director?
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. He does these things where you watch a movie that he makes and there's a scene that's like a little bit too much and you want to like look away. And then he goes further and further and further and further and further. And you're like,
about this fella.
You're like, what are you doing? Oh,
IMDb does not call this a comedy. It says monster horror, psychological thriller, supernatural horror thriller.
Because he's an Evil Dead guy.
It leans more comedy than any of those things. There's much more in terms of.
I don't mind that. I like when the thrillers are a little funny.
I do too, but I think that I was expecting it to be a little more edgy and a little more serious, and to me, I wanted a little bit of that out of it. But Courtney loved it. So definitely more female skewing and a fun movie that we watched in theaters. But like I said, I would give it like 2.5 out of 5. Now, if you want to see what my scale looks like, please take me up on this offer this week. Okay, please take me up on this offer this week. If you want to see what I look for and what I think the difference between like a 2.5 out of 5 and a 4.5 out of 5 is, last night we watched the best movie that I have seen in a year or maybe more that I had never heard of before this. And it's called, there's a movie that you should watch to compare. All right. If you go see Send Help, go see it. See if you enjoy it. I think 2.5 out of 5. But if you want to see what a 4.5 looks like, the movie Dust Bunny just came out on demand for a lot of people. And I'll just give you a couple of lines on this movie so you know what it's about. It's about this little girl. She's an amazing little actress. And I get big like Jojo Rabbit type vibes from this movie. It's about a little girl who has a monster under her bed. And there's a hitman who lives next door to him that she tries to hire to kill the monster under her bed.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird and outlandish, but it was one of the most beautifully shot, beautifully written, beautifully done movies I have seen in a very long time. And if you weigh out the two, if you see Dust Bunny, that to me, you'll be like, okay, this is what we'll see if we agree on what good movies are. That one was absolutely incredible.
We watched last night. I had also never really heard of this movie. I don't remember us talking about it much, which is weird because it did have a pretty big cast. A lot of like names that are either big right now or have been. We watched Roofman last night.
Oh, yeah. Roofman is great with Channing Tatum.
Yeah, it was.
I loved
it was about 30 minutes too long, but the story was fascinating. The fact that it's based on a true story was fascinating.
Did you go down the wormhole on your phone as you're watching?
Ashley did, because she hadn't, and then I was like, I'm surprised you haven't already. I was abstaining because I wanted to enjoy the movie and then do all the Googling. And then, but she went down.
You see, your wife is why they say we have to reiterate the plot 4 times.
I already told her that. I was like, did you hear the Affleck interview? He's talking about you. And so she did Google it, and she was telling me all the stuff she found, and I was like, they got a lot of it really accurate about this story about Roofman, which is this guy who was a veteran. He had been to war and stuff. And he came back and he was like really smart about a lot of things, but just like also very stupid. And so he didn't really know how to use his powers for good. So he was just like, he would rob a bunch of places. And everybody that they interviewed that was a witness to this said he was the nicest robber that they ever met. And then he lived in a Toys R Us to be in hiding for like months and months and months.
It was very, I thought, I could see where you say 30 minutes too long, but I did love that movie. They made him look like a nice guy.
He really lived in a Toys R Us?
He lived in
behind a display.
He lived in a Toys R Us, and then
like the Wet Bandits living in the toy store in Home Alone.
Kind
too?
of, yes. He lived at least in the movie. He was all Toys R Us, but then in real life, he also spent some of that time in an abandoned Circuit City that was next to the Toys R Us. So, and he lived in there. He like lived in behind this display of bikes where there was just a big empty space, and he just used all of the stuff to his like advantage that he could find in the Toys R Us. And then he took a bunch of video games and pawned them to get money. Then he fell in love with one of the employees and started going to it. I mean, dude, it is wild.
But too long though?
30 minutes too long. It's a 2-hour and 6-minute movie.
Yeah, I don't know why they need to cut more on some of these things. They really do. I don't know who the guy is. Let me see who the dude is behind the Dust Bunny movie. It was just literally one of the more, like every artistic move they made. It's written and produced by a guy named Brian Fuller. Sigourney Weaver's in it. She's one of the main stars. But just, you ever see a movie and there's not a lot of people that can do this. But you guys ever watch a movie and if you hit pause for a bathroom break or to talk about something, it seems like every time you hit pause, it's gorgeous. Like every frame is like beautiful. The way like everything was really thought about. I love a movie like that. We're so blessed to have so many talented people out there creating all of this cool stuff.
And big ass TVs.
What a time to be alive. Absolutely. Okay. We have a lot of feedback coming in, including our challenge for today, which is Rate My Blank. It's Rate My Doodle. This will be like an offshoot of this that we can do. And we're starting Rate My Doodle out with Draw C Lane. And so people are taking it upon themselves to draw C Lane. And I have to tell you, some of the ones I've seen so far are pretty fantastic. We'll share those with you as we go on a little bit here on the show.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to be impressed. You might not be, but I think that you're going to be fairly impressed, C-Lane, when you start to see what folks are starting to send in right now. Let's talk a little bit about the storm. We had a big snowstorm. We'll get into this ice before we get into the other ice situation. You know, things are cold when people are doing this to their dogs. This is for the folks on YouTube.
Look at you.
Dogs with parkas and little shoes. And
is that custom made? Because that tiny little, it's not a greyhound. Your old roommate used to have
I think
one.
it looks like a whippet. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And the neck of that coat is perfectly measured to
So
his
funny.
giant neck.
That dog looks like it's wearing kitten mittens from Always Sunny.
Cute.
It's so funny. Look, he's got this little like parka on and these little shoes, and he's high stepping it, and he's walking along the street. The dog's probably like, "What are you doing to me? I don't want to be wearing this right now."
Well, those dogs don't have a whole lot of body mass, so
no, that's true. If anybody needs
it would be a
comfort.
dogsicle if you took that thing off.
Yeah, people were going outside and trying to see how much snow was out there, measuring feet of snow in some of these places. It was absolutely stunning, the amount of weather that has rolled into a lot of the country right now. For those of you who didn't get any, consider yourselves very, very lucky, because there's millions and millions of people today without power because of the ice and snow that hit in these areas. And they were going outside with you take a tape measure and then you shove it in the snow. This guy's got 12 inches or so of snow in front of his house that he's found. And this is just kind of a regular experience. There was a lot worse than that as people were waking up to see what was going on. Huge delays at airports all across the country. We'll get a little further into what happened with this particular snowstorm.
I texted Moses over the weekend to see how his how the weather in Chicago was.
I saw a video he showed of he went to go see a blues performance. Buddy Guy, who he has one club in Chicago, and he plays at this club like not that often, like one time
only
a week
in January. He plays there in January, and that's it.
And he's old, but he's still rocking it. And I was surprised. I didn't know that Mo would be into that necessarily, but I did see the video of him go to do that. Did he
I
say
saw
that?
and I saw a meme that said Chicago is officially colder than Antarctica right now.
That does. I mean, it was bad.
How did you
bad.
go?
Chicago gets it. I mean, some of the worst blizzards I've seen happen to be there.
Mm-hmm. It was cold. It was cold in all of these places.
But he had one of them Kyle Broflovsky hats on,
the snow hat?
Yeah. This bundled up.
Everybody was trying to give their pro tips out on how to survive this. So we'll get into more of what things look like for people battling the snowstorm and the ice, and then what happened with actual ice, which turned into mayhem over the weekend. We'll get into that.
Are we calling them
well.
actual ice? I would call ice actual ice, and then the other way around.
Actual
frozen
ice
water is actual ice.
That's the weather phenomenon. That's the real deal, Holyfield. The other one is Immigration Customs Enforcement. That ice got into some big trouble this weekend, and a lot of drama popping up from that. We are loaded up, and as I said at the top of the hour, we'll talk to our friend Amy Kay. But let's at least dip our toes into what happened this weekend in Minnesota, because a lot of people are reacting to that. We'll talk about that. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7, it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by MyEternalVitality.com and Modern Plumbing Industries. At 9 p.m., it's...
Don't Mike. Happy Monday. I'm looking at some of your sketches.
Stand by, Skullmikers. Stand by.
We're gonna have to discuss this on the air with everybody. We're gonna have to discuss. I got you, buddy. Don't worry about it. We're gonna have to discuss: is AI allowed for this, or maybe give a side prize to the AI ones? Because, as described, it should be doodles. Right? Like it should be drawings. And while this, Pixar character of me that I'm seeing here drinking my my Polar Pop is good and funny, and it nailed my Apple Watch. It's not a drawing. Crazy Drunk Cat Lady says no AI. All Day Yucker said, I did those in my painting studio. C-Lane picked me for Fritz on the Street. They drew me with a very large... very stick figure with a dumb face, a very large penis, and a hole in my testicles. Who was that? Is that Stefan P? I didn't even look and see who it was. It was. My gosh, that is hilarious. Let's see what Missy did. Missy, that's a little stick figure-esque kind of thing. Everybody seems to be nailing paying attention to the beard, which is good. Oh, that is funny. Some of these, they look good, but I'm like, y'all didn't even have enough time. 11:16. That's definitely AI. You didn't have enough time to do that. That does look like a caricature, though. Honestly, it looks like it could be a caricature of someone else because the beard is not present. I want to know who that was. I want to know who that was of. Gardner, not bad. Professor Booty, also AI, but, it was Edwardian, it says. If that's not AI, that was quick as hell. You got some talent, but I'm sus. I'm a little sus. Gosh, more of these coming in. Oh, there'll be a lot to get through. All day yuckers. In your painting studio. All day yuckers, you are a pretty quick painter. What? Why do I look like I have some sort of strap under here to like I broke my jaw or something? Anyway, I'm excited to look through those and see some more fun stuff. Got about a minute 20 in this, and then we'll be right back. So let's do it.
Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster. I started Blindster in my garage back in 2010. Since then, we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters nationwide. Our blinds are DIY friendly, guaranteed to fit, and always cheaper than big box stores. Blindster.com.
Now that a new year is here, start 2026 by showing your gratitude. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose, celebrating the incredible impact of public school educators. Nominate an outstanding teacher in your life who's gone above and beyond for their students to be among the winners of $5,000 to stock their classroom. Teachers give their time, money, and hearts to help students succeed. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Get all the info and nominate a teacher who goes the extra mile today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Radio. 104.1. Dispensing unsolicited advice on a wide range of pointless topics.
On a lovely Monday here on the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. And an update on that podcast rant on Friday coming up a little bit later on the show. I was watching all of the videos, all of the craziness that was happening out of Minnesota this weekend. Minneapolis is where most of this has been based. Almost all of it, in fact, I think. That's where Renee Good was shot and killed by the ICE officer when she was behind the wheel of the vehicle headed towards him. That's where, right down the road, another person was shot when they got into a fight with an ICE officer and started like hitting him with a shovel or something. It's all been in Minneapolis, basically, which is interesting for some other reasons I'll talk about in a bit. But there was a fatal shooting over the weekend where this dude from Minnesota was shot and killed by these ICE officers. And the video popped up before any headlines or anything existed. It was just like, hey, new video, there's been a shooting. And before I think a single reporter had written a couple of paragraphs on the latest ICE killing, I think I had seen like 3 or 4 different angles of the video of this guy getting shot and killed. A lot of people there. There's a lot of people on the streets kind of getting into it with these ICE officers. And the guy who was shot and killed is a guy named Alex Preddy. And he appears to be, it was somebody who worked in the ICU and was against all of this ICE stuff. So was out there as like an agitator, getting into it with these ICE officers. He had a gun with him. He had like a 6-hour handgun that he had on his person.
Legally.
He was legally authorized to have the gun, and I think he even had a concealed carry permit. It was legally allowed to have the weapon where he was. The weapon during the skirmish, there's a lot that we don't know, but at some point the gun seemed to have dropped out and it fell on the ground. There was 4 or so ICE officers struggling with this guy, and the gun drops onto the ground. And then one of the ICE officers seems to shout out something like gun, or there's a gun, or something like that. And then one or more of them opened fire on this guy and killed him right there on the streets of Minneapolis. And the second person who's died like this, the Renee Good thing was similar. I think this is just very much clear cut to me when you watch it. And once I saw it, there was some pretty good analysis of this. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'll bring this up really quickly. It's an incredibly short video. I'm going to mute it just in case, because most of these videos of these incidents have people cursing all over the place in the background. But in the video that I saw from the Washington Post, they showed where the ICE officer grabbed this dude's gun off of the ground and removed it from the scene and walked around backwards with it. And then right after that, the other ICE officer pulls out his weapon and just unloads into this guy. And either they made a mistake, they thought he was pulling out the gun, or whatever it was, they killed this guy and he shouldn't have died. It was the fault of these ICE officers who got roped up in this and thought that maybe their lives were in danger. I think they just murdered the dude. They killed him on the side of the road. Because you can say all you want, like he had a gun, but you're allowed to have guns. There are laws in this country.
And one officer took away the gun. They had already pepper sprayed him. He was already on the ground.
I don't know that they all knew that the gun had been removed, or I don't know what they knew about this guy's gun, but there was a gun, and one of the officers can be seen pretty clearly in the footage taking the weapon and walking away. So now when the ICE officer kills this guy, he's killing an unarmed man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy doesn't have a gun. He's shooting and killing a man who does not have a gun on him at that point in time, which is obviously wrong and bad in all possible ways. Now, you can get into why this happened to begin with and how these agitators continue to confront these federal agents and what leads you to all of this. But it was pretty clear cut to me from the video that these officers were absolutely in the wrong, these ICE officers, and they just murdered this dude. And it's terrible. And I feel for his family and everybody else. I've seen people try to make the claim that, and this is for the gun enthusiasts among us to talk about more, but the handgun that he had is a 6-hour handgun that I've heard was maybe prone to going off when they shouldn't. And there was some claim that the gun had gone off or that it accidentally fired at some point in time. I don't think the footage. You hear gunshots going off in the video, but the gunshots are from the ICE officer shooting the guy. So it's a little hard to determine what's what. But I'm unconvinced by anything. Like, this is supposed to be the ICE officer removing the guy's gun and then the gun is going off. So he's got the gun in his hand, and they're trying to suggest through this footage, like, oh, his gun fired, which is what scared everybody, and then that's why the ICE officer shot him. I don't think so. I think the guy took the gun that he found on the ground. I think he ran away. I think the other ICE officers started to shout gun, and then one of them just fired and killed the guy. That's what I think happened. I think it seems pretty clear from all the video that is what happened. The bigger concern really is what happened afterwards. So when you make a mistake, I don't care how deranged people are in the world of politics, and some of them are, and some of you even are quite deranged in the world of politics. But when somebody makes a mistake, you have to acknowledge the mistake. You have to be honest about what's happening. The American public is not stupid, okay? People see videos. I was talking a bit earlier on Skull Mike, and I said one of the most interesting things to me is I've talked about how ICE is just like terrible at the PR battle here. They're getting just absolutely demolished in the public relations battle, right? And one of the things that was crazy to me was there was a big poll done by one of these news outlets, and they said 85% of Americans have seen that Renee Good ICE shooting.
Yeah.
85% of people. I don't even know that 85% of people will watch the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. I mean, that's massive. That is, so you have now 85% of Americans have watched a video where an ICE officer kills a woman. You can say whatever you want about that video, but more often than not, people who watch it come away with the fact that this didn't need to happen and this woman should be alive right now. When you have that happening out there, it gets to all the normies and people who don't pay attention to all of this. And so regular, average, run-of-the-mill people, not very political people, are absolutely turning against ICE because they're tired of seeing these videos that have been released.
Would not be surprised if that number goes up even more for this video and the multiple angles of what happened this past weekend. Because I kid you not, every other scroll on Instagram was some angle of this, some commentary on this, or that video in and of itself.
I actually managed to dodge it this time.
Really?
Algorithm is different.
Well,
I saw it everywhere.
Everywhere.
I know that it happened. I got the notifications about it. I've seen people commenting about it, and I've seen maybe a couple pictures, but I haven't actually watched the video. And I wasn't going out of my way to watch it. I figured we would talk about it today. And
the video is not. I wouldn't call it gory because you can't see the guy getting shot. It's 4 or 5 ICE officers trying to stop this guy. He was getting into it with the ICE officers. And he's up there like sort of on the front lines with these agitators. He's getting into it with the ICE officers. Then question mark, right? Something happens with his gun that he had, again, legally. Something happens with his gun. The gun ends up on the ground. One of the ICE officers grabs the gun and appears to walk away with it.
There's a lot of people.
Then he's shot.
There's a lot of people commenting right now and countering that the gun was not on the ground, that they pulled it out of his holster. I don't think that changes the situation much.
I don't know that anybody knows that for certain, but I agree. I don't think it would change anything.
Any footage from the ICE officers involved? Nothing after 2-3 days?
I don't think there's body cam yet.
Yeah, they haven't released any of the body cam footage that I've seen. Who knows?
But I'm saying if you're arguing over was the gun on the ground or was the gun in the holster, well, either way, the guy has still been disarmed, and then after the disarming, got shot and killed.
Right. Big Doug Millionaire on Twitch says agitators is an interesting word for protesters. Well, let me be clear. These people are not protesters, right? There were crowds in the last 2 nights, mind you, when it was 2 degrees in Minnesota, of tens of thousands of people that have come out to the streets, and they had signs and they were out there protesting. Those people are protesters. Almost all of them have been completely peaceful, and they are every bit within their right as an American citizen to get out there and protest on the streets like that. The people, including the guy who got shot and killed, who were involved in this, are not protesters. I think it's absolutely right and fair to call these people agitators. They are attempting to stop ICE officers.
What was he doing? He was just filming.
No,
incident with the lady in the pink coat.
There was a woman who was battling with the ICE officers, and he was trying to separate the two of them. He's not just holding a sign protesting at some event. He's on the front lines trying to disrupt what's going on with ICE. These people, to me, are very obviously different than just a protester. I don't think that's an honest interpretation, in my opinion, of what these people are doing. You might disagree, but I mean, I don't, like it being involved in the act of trying to stop federal agents from doing their jobs.
Spraying a lady in the face?
Wait, why is the lady there to begin with?
Protesting like everyone else, the entire crowd that was there.
I see that, but I disagree. I don't think she's protesting. I think these people are attempting to stop law enforcement from doing their job. Whether you agree with that or disagree with that is totally different. But it's not just protesting. It's not just being out in public and saying, here's what I think about this, here's what I feel about this, and expressing your rights
but
or
if
expressing
ICE
your
is
opinion.
there, is it not a protest anymore?
No, it's not a protest when you seek out ICE and you seek out confrontation with them, which is absolutely what you can see in a million of these videos. The people out there wanted to get into it with ICE. They want to stop ICE. They want to do this. They're getting out and they're getting into confrontations with them. And that's why they're like body armored up. You know, how many people bring a gun to a protest, for instance? You know, they know that these things, they know what they're getting into and that these things can get violent sometimes. And that you had the one lady who had like the damn pan from her oven. She had like a broiler pan on her and like self-made body armor. Those people are out there trying to get into it with the ICE officers. To me, I don't think that is protesting. But that doesn't mean that they should get a death sentence. They killed this guy, and they should not have done this. They had no right to kill this guy. There was no reason to believe that these ICE officers were in danger of this man's weapon, and they shouldn't have done it. Now, I wanted to get to the most important part, but I've run out of time here. We'll have to get to this in a bit. But the biggest part of this, I think, that is inflamed things is not even just what happened. It's what happened afterwards, okay? And that is what I want to talk about a little bit later on in the show. We'll get into all of your comments on this. Everybody can have their say. Email in tips@thenewsjunkie.com if you want to be anonymous. Put that up on top. Or you can dispatch the show over at thenewsjunkie.com. More on that on the way. But first, we're going to talk to our friend Amy Caulfield from Fox 35. We'll see what Amy Caulfield has on her mind, what's going on in her world, and everything happening with Fox 35. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Wherever your plans take you on Super Sunday, you can take the big game with you. From the opening kickoff to the presentation of the Lombardi Trophy, Real Radio 104.1 is the home of Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 60.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law.
Hello. Skill mic activated. Welcome behind the scenes.
No issues on I-95.
Welcome to the show.
If you do see traffic troubles,
how are you doing on a Monday?
Change traffic tip line at 8.
We're gonna keep an eye on the grid. I think we got something happening here.
From the traffic center.
Very shortly, Amy Caulfield from Fox 35 will be joining us.
Fresh from Florida.
We'll get into what I think is the biggest point of contention for the Minnesota shooting in a little bit on the show. And then we'll get into your feedback, of course. Weed consumer says, you won't die in a protest if you're not at the protest.
Every genre for a day of music, fun, and memory.
Nobody died at these protests.
Endless hits. One unforgettable day for the whole family. Join Jack Brad.
The protest had tens of thousands of people. It was peaceful. Everybody had every right to be out there and to do that. It's very different from a coordinated campaign to go after federal officers, right? I just think that's honest.
6 p.m. This family-friendly festival features top tribute bands performing the songs you know by heart, paired with great food, drinks, and plenty of space to relax, dance, or simply take in the music.
I agree with Sean on this. They are not peaceful protesters.
Re-entry is permitted, so you can take breaks and return.
Well, they're not. I mean, look at the organized response that's going on in Minneapolis. It's happening because there are groups of people on Signal chats, on social media platforms. They're all working with each other. They're spotting ICE where they are and where they are not. And they're attempting to stop them as if they have any authority to do so. And they don't. They don't have any authority to do so. But that doesn't give an ICE officer the permission to kill these people. It does not sign your death warrant if you are an agitator at one of these events. You're filming up in ICE's face. You're trying to stop what they're doing. You're blowing whistles. You're doing whatever. It does not mean that any officer has any right to kill you. Did you hear about the ICE officer that got his finger bit off by the protester? I have that story, and I have the image of the finger, which we'll get into at some point in time. Uh-oh. I just turned it on the board ceiling.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home.
People seem to keep forgetting that the fact that protesting or observing ICE is not a crime punishable by death. Simple as that. Be against protesting or being out there all you want. People have rights. Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree. Danielle says, I wish they would just stop, let the ICE agents do their job and leave so nobody else gets hurt. I have an idea. I have a let's make a deal on this that I think would be very, very helpful and useful. And we'll get into that in a bit. Maybe don't stick your finger in someone's mouth. Sometimes those mouths just be gobbling up fingers, though. You know it. Buzz says it's purposely organized chaos by our government. The strange thing about that is I don't even know what side you're on. Are you saying that the government is engaging in organized chaos in Minnesota, where law enforcement is not assisting when things go crazy like they did at that hotel last night in Minneapolis? And then politicians are encouraging in many ways the reaction that's happening so that pressure builds, so that ICE leaves, so that ICE is on their back heels, so that they can push what many of them want to begin with, which is a lot of them are part of like the defund ICE and broader movement against us. Or are you talking about the ICE officers who are engaging in what you think is chaos there? I don't even know what side that's on. Freedom of press is for agitators too? No, it's not. No. No, especially if you're getting physical. You know, you don't have the right to get physical. You don't have the right to stop a federal officer from, doing their job. You don't have that right. They've not been prosecuting people for this because we're back in this territory where we let people do whatever they want because we think it's a moral thing. But that is what it is. Local collaboration instead of exacerbating verbiage is a good start. He means to say work with the locals rather than just fighting. The locals don't want to work with us. That's the whole point. I can't believe this loser supports killing Americans. What are you talking about? Are you that dumb? Tell me what I just said that suggested that I support killing Americans. Go ahead, I'm waiting. We got 90 seconds. Be fast with the keyboard. Go ahead, tell me where I said that. Just say we have no right to film ICE? Well, that's ridiculous. Of course, everybody has the right to film anybody in public, especially law enforcement. You don't have the right to physically stop them from doing their job. You as a person have no authority, none, to engage in that. Zero, at all, none.
You need Sinex saline from Vicks. Sinex saline nasal spray. Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Okay, we're coming back with Amy Caulfield here. Stand by. Stand by. All right, here we go. Coming back.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Need help after an accident? Just call Mo. Learn more at JustCallMo.com or call 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station guaranteed human.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. P-A-Y. Pay. Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Because the newspapers don't come with cliff notes or potentially offensive accents.
The tips at thenewsjunkie.com with your thoughts, and send a dispatch in as well over on thenewsjunkie.com. Don't forget, folks, okay, I don't want this to get lost in the sauce. It is a Rate My Blank Monday, and I don't want it to get lost in the sauce that it's Rate My Doodle Draw C-Lane edition.
Yeah, we got to talk a little bit about this after we talk to Amy because there's a lot of AI being thrown out here, and I don't think
not a doodle.
It's not a doodle. You're right, but some of the AI is pretty good, so I think that we should have like a side prize.
Oh, side prize
with the AI winner, and then there's some pretty good doodles out there too. One of them is very funny.
Maybe, but I really think like when I say doodle, when if we do these where we do Rate My Blank and we do the doodle ones, I really want people to draw us.
I wanted that too.
We haven't had pen to paper in many years. Come on.
Go old school. Get like a pencil or pen out and draw C-Lane for Rate My Doodle today. Send that over as a dispatch. You can see on the website where you can do it at thenewsjunkie.com. In the meantime, let's do something much more important. Let's welcome our friend, Amy Kaufeld from Fox 35.
Amy.
There she is. Hey, happy Monday, Amy. How are you? What's going on in your world?
I'm good. Oh, my gosh, a lot. It's been crazy. We're just, I know it seems crazy that, we had record heat yesterday in Orlando. 87 degrees was the high. We actually broke a record. And everybody else is freezing, but now we're about to head into the deep freeze. So it's a little crazy around here.
No, what are we looking at here? Like, is it legitimately going to get super cold?
So, yes. I mean, it depends. So you guys know cold is subjective, right? Mm-hmm. Because what's cold for you might not be cold for me. So we're going to drop down into the 30s over the next couple of mornings.
That's cool.
Here's where it gets tricky. So then we're going to warm up a little bit into like the 60s on Friday. And then the cold snap that we get next weekend, or this coming weekend, I should say, could be some of the coldest air that we have seen in years. And some of the forecast models actually have snow coming as far south as Marion County, even potentially, which is like our friends in Ocala. So if that happens, if that comes to fruition, that would be something that has not happened in a very long time. As you guys know, the last time we got snow was in the Panhandle, and that's usually as far south as it goes.
If we get some snow in West Palm Beach, all hell's breaking loose.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's happening. People will just pandemonium in the streets if it starts snowing in South Florida. But that's interesting. We got a twist coming up here because you're right. This weekend, I was outside, and as I'm seeing all these stories about our friends, people who listen to the show getting a foot, 2 feet of snow in some cases, or even more. I thought it's a little hot outside. I'm sweating a little.
Degrees from 90 yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
Like we almost hit 90 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy to see some of the people who had a really different weekend than we did. Yeah. It's bad when in New York City they shut down all of the food delivery apps.
No!
Shut down.
How do people eat?
They had to go back to the drawing board and make bologna sandwiches again because they shut down Uber Eats, DoorDash, all of them for a
while.
while.
That this weekend without the cold.
Did you? They had to get back to basics. They had to really get back to basics because so many people were completely snowed in, and then the dummies go to the grocery store and hoard all of the water, toilet
and milk
paper.
was a big thing. I did not understand that.
I don't know that they do, Sabrina. I think sometimes people just go, "What are we supposed to buy?"
That's how we'll survive. 2%.
They panic.
I remember during the pandemic at one point in time, I would go into a grocery store, and if I saw an item on the shelf and there was only a couple of them, I would just feel like I had to buy it. Everybody's buying this thing. And I got 3 gallons of milk all of a sudden. So I think people just kind of react in these moments here. But so it's going to get real cold. When is that? Is that this week?
So this coming weekend, yeah. So that we'll hit a cold snap. We're going to have the cold snap tonight going into tomorrow, and that's going to last for a couple days. Then we'll slightly warm up on Friday, and then Saturday going into Sunday will be some of the coldest air that we have seen in these parts in years.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
man.
So we'll see what happens.
Now,
I mean, it's not going to be as bad as our friends up north, and I feel bad because you got like almost 1 million people without power right now. You've got, it is a nightmare.
The roads are a
the
nightmare.
death toll's climbing,
and it wasn't just it wasn't just snow that has hit a lot of these people. It was ice. There's a couple inches of ice in some of these places. That makes it incredibly dangerous.
Plow that easily, I imagine.
No.
Yeah, there's not much you can do because the weather, unfortunately, is not warming up. So now you've got, it's mostly Mississippi and parts of Tennessee where they're seeing that, where they have like this layer of ice that we kind of talked about how this was going to happen. It weighs down on the power lines, and then the power lines can't, hang on. And so they fall.
Yeah.
And so now you have a situation where you can't get power trucks out there to put the lines back up because the roads are too slippery and dangerous. And I mean, it's just a mess. And then it's not going to melt for a couple days. So now you've got people in their homes with, single degree temperatures, and they have no way to heat their homes. Most people have, electric air, in their house. So it's
and then yesterday, 11,000 flights canceled because of the weather. 11,000 flights canceled.
That's a lot.
And as we all know from flying, and certainly from being on the show, when you get a huge amount of cancellations like that, the trickle down effects are pretty bad for a little while. You have to make sure you make up all those flights that were missed, and then you make up the flights that are missed because of that. And then there's even still more bad weather coming in. So anybody going anywhere this week, be careful, pay attention to the airports and all of that good stuff. The other thing, obviously, we've talked about this a little bit. We're going to get much more into it. We'll get into some more controversial twists, I think, a little bit later on in the show. But everybody's been focused on the second major ICE killing in Minnesota. At Fox 35, that's a ways away. It's a weird thing because it's so far away for many people who are watching you each morning, Amy. But then it's a big topic of discussion, second to maybe the Super Bowl coming up and the football games and stuff. The big conversation this weekend was based on that. Was that something that you dove into and saw the responses to?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So we touched on it just because we also had our own protest right here in Orlando. As you guys know, right after the first killing that happened in Minnesota and Minneapolis a couple of weeks ago, there were protests here in Orlando, and same thing happened this past weekend. We did have another protest here, and there was a woman who actually got arrested. I think she punched one of a vehicle, like an agent's car.
Yeah.
And so she was arrested, and I think she's already been released. But yeah, so we're seeing the fallout and the effect of that, here in Central Florida as well.
Yeah, I mean, I see people upset about this all over the place, and it's radicalized a lot of people. I talked earlier about how one of the polls that was kind of shocking to me was that the Renee Good video, Amy, was seen by apparently over 80% of Americans. And so when you think about who watches and tunes into stuff happening in the country each day, there are so many more people. I bring up the NFL thing for a reason. There's so many more people that watched the football games this weekend, and that was their main topic. And if you look at Google searches in the United States, ICE is going to be far second to the Seattle Seahawks or whatever football team, the Patriots or whatever. But if it gets to the point where some of these videos on social media are being blasted out to 80+% of people, then you end up with your audience having some pretty intense opinions about this, and watching that as well, I'm sure, is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about the Charlie Kirk video, you guys, as horrific as that was, right? I mean, it is now becoming, sadly, at least in the last few months, commonplace for us to witness people's murders, because there are so many cell phones focused in on what's going on in the world. And I think, it's just horrific. These are things that we are not meant to see, that we are not, mentally prepared for to witness.
From
and then
three angles.
Right, every angle and looking at like it's horrific. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I feel like it's just this is the world we live in, and it's like you have to parent your kids in a whole different way,
right?
Because they are, and I just remember, after the Charlie Kirk incident happened, I remember asking my son Colton if he had seen it, and he was like, it's impossible not to see it, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's just this, it just keeps happening again and again.
It seems pretty obvious to me that the temperature is way too high, and that everybody should everybody should have a vested interest in reducing that temperature, but I'm not seeing the real desire to do that just
yet. Or even if you want to, you're not seeing funny, cute donkey become friends with cat video anymore.
No.
It is just another account that wants to give other people's opinions on it, or just repurpose that footage and the other angle of it, and you can't avoid it.
Yeah,
unless you shut off social media.
Yeah, I was watching a clip the other day, and Van Jones was on with Bill Maher, and as you guys know, Bill Maher is very good at people on both sides like him, because even though he is a Democrat and he tends to be more liberal, he's pragmatic. He talks about things in a way that I think that most of us understand. And he was talking to Van Jones, and Van Jones said, what's frightening, and this is the world that we live in now. Like you watch, say, Sabrina, you watch one video about whatever, horses. And now all of a sudden the algorithm, your feed is flooded with horses, right? And so it's the same thing in like, if you watch or you start watching, videos on one side or the other, whether it's left or right, now all of a sudden that is all you're seeing in your feed. And so we're not even being exposed to the other side. And so what that happens is that just makes us that much more amped up and angry and filled with vitriol about the other side.
And then you see other, content creators that are trying to push whatever agenda, whether it be the truth or enough views of controversy to get them a sweet little paycheck from TikTok. It's just... it's a lot, especially with folks that don't know how it all works.
Also, one of the problems is very, very clearly that people seem to be so locked in that even when something seems to be pretty obvious to me, like ICE shouldn't have shot this guy. He should be alive. It's incredibly unfortunate, and I feel terrible for his family that he was shot and killed this weekend. But you'll still find people who will watch the video and defend it, and it's like it's as if there's a portion of our populace who just can't admit, even if something looks obviously bad, that it's bad. You're like, we have to just pretend all the time. Our side is never wrong. The other side is always wrong. And on we go. And the war shall never end. So that I think is a negative thing in our society right now. And I hope we could see the temperature brought down at least a little bit. But
and that said, I agree with you. I do have something that I don't want to call problematic, but there is something that I did watch on Good Day Orlando this morning that kind of threw me off, Amy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
That was the exploding trees story. So we talked last week about the trees and whether or not they explode. And then this morning, it was around 6-something. You were not on just yet. And they said that it's actually a rumor going around. And here's a video of an expert. And the only thing I saw was a guy go to the camera, pow, pow, pow. And that's all that was said about the rumor that is exploding trees. However, I've been seeing videos of exploding trees all weekend on my social media.
How sure are we that the exploding trees are real? Do we know?
How do you know?
That's my question. Do we know?
You told me. I'm going to send it right to you. Please don't play the audio because I don't know if they curse or not, because I would be saying curse words if I see a tree
what's it going to do for me? I need to see the tree exploding.
See the physical stuff, but now it's going around, and you're not the only news station saying that it's just a rumor that trees aren't exploding.
Well, it's funny, Sabrina. So we paused for that sound because we had it in the later hours too. We paused for the sound, and you could hear like the cracking sound, but then nothing happened. And they were saying that what happens is that the sap inside of the tree. So like usually pine, right?
Yeah.
Like the sap inside the tree freezes, and that like when the wind blows, that's what you're hearing that it's like crackling.
All right, it doesn't say where this is from. This is a clip that Sabrina sent, but it's obviously somewhere where there was quite a bit of snow this weekend or wherever this was taken. And here's the tree.
And they heard the popping and the cracking. They go outside, and then what happens?
They're walking up to the tree, And
it's not that one.
So far, it's okay. That tree looks fine, but I'm sure it's making noises or something.
I might have seen the wrong video. Damn it! Go to the next one. Yep. I'm not
is there a
helping my
next
case.
one? The next one is a man pouring water on a table.
My favorite.
This is a Swedish dishcloth video. This is very different. I want to see the trees exploding. I
saw a tree exploding. I'm not crazy. But my favorite part was there. I am a little crazy.
So you're a believer?
There was a guy who was just like this, like holding his phone, and he just goes, pow, pow. And then they went on to the next clip.
That guy is shooting a tree. He's shooting at trees.
I'm like,
is this
what
it?
is happening?
The tree.
Okay, I got the other one. All right, this is a big tree. This is a large tree.
Okay, yeah, watch this.
All right, it says January 22nd. So this is from 4 days ago, 1:08 a.m. Very big tree in their backyard. I'm going to keep okay.
And then she goes outside and she's like, what was that? Boom,
and
exploded.
It busted open. Unless that's AI. Why is it so smooth? I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's not anymore. Well, the jury's out on whether or not the trees are going to explode.
The jury has
for
to go
everybody.
back in, inclding me. I think I sent you the wrong videos, but I'm telling you, something's up here.
This one has millions of views, so a lot of people are honing on.
It's going well for the person that posted it. That's about it.
At least them, right? What else is grabbing your attention out there, Amy Caulfield?
You guys, we had a couple of exclusive interviews that if people are interested, they should go to our website and check them out. One of them was with Ellen Gillen. She's the woman who, you guys remember a couple of years ago, walked into her husband's his hospital room in Daytona Beach. And she said he was terminally ill and that they had made a pact to do a double suicide or homicide suicide. And that, did you see this? And
yeah, I saw the commercial for this last night, and I said we gotta watch this. Fox 35 was running this thing about the woman who killed her husband in the hospital, right? The one where it was like
lady.
Yes, yeah.
Yep. They've been married 53 years. He was terminally ill, and she said that they had made this pact, and so she shot him. And then she became hysterical. So when police got to the room, she pointed the gun at officers, and that created a standoff that went on for hours. They finally talked her into surrendering, which she did. She was sentenced to a year in prison, 12 years probation. And so we spoke to her after she got out, and she said as horrific as it was, she does not regret her actions that day because she said that she basically was putting him out of his misery.
Yeah, I remember seeing that story and thinking it was both the most tragic and romantic thing I had ever heard of in my entire life. I stand by that today. She should have never pointed the gun at law enforcement. I don't want anybody else to be exposed to this kind of stuff, but I don't think for a second that lady was bloodlusting and just trying to kill this dude. I think that she legitimately was like, I love this person so much that I have to get them away from the pain that they're suffering. It's crazy. I want to see that. Anyhow, so many things going on in the world, and we're so thankful to have even just a slice of Amy Caulfield here on a Monday on the show. We love you.
Love
we
you,
appreciate you.
Bye, Amy. Sorry for the controversy. I'll email Fox 35 later.
Yeah, please let me know if you find that video.
I will
see it.
send you material.
Yeah, if a listener catches an exploding tree with some solid proof, please send it over to Amy Caulfield so we can get down to the bottom of this
Subject
whole thing,
line,
right?
Sabrina was right, kind of.
Post them online. Okay, when you are looking for somebody to follow online, the person who checks off every box that you should be looking for is Amy Caulfield. She's going to inform you. She's going to give you fun family stuff. She's going to make you smile. And all of those things are what happens if you follow Amy Caulfield on social media. So do so now.
Love you.
We'll see you next week. There she goes. Amy Caulfield, best of the best. We love her. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're a little bit behind. We have a lot of stuff to get further into here. Not just, I think people are missing a bigger point on the ICE shooting thing. And then we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what I think should happen next. I got a let's make a deal on that one. But we also have the Miami airport chaos from yesterday, which was crazy in and of itself. On any other weekend, that may have been one of the more large stories. So we'll get into all of this and so much more coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Instagram at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine.
Hello, welcome. Skull mic is activated. You are now behind the scenes on the show. In a couple of minutes, we'll be back live. We'll get down to what I think a lot of people are missing about this Minnesota ICE shooting and the murder of this guy who was at one of these big gatherings where everybody was battling it out with ICE over the weekend.
Is sponsored by Rasmussen University.
With Rasmussen University, you don't have to be afraid of paying.
By the way, one of the most brutal things about this kind of stuff is now not only do your family members lose somebody, but there's like 7 angles of a video of you dying, which just, I can't even imagine dealing with the loss as a family and then dealing with that as well. Hiker Mom says, Sean, I sent you a video in your email that has an exploding tree. Thank you, Hiker Mom. We'll get to that a little later on in the show. We'll see what you got for us evidence-wise. You can email the show too. Email me anytime you want. Email me at tips@thenewsjunkie.com. Keith says, has there ever been a suspicious package where there was a bomb? Yes, my friend, yes. There was a famous story where a man was a pizza delivery driver and he had what they said was a bomb attached to his neck. And the cops seemed rather unconvinced that this was an actual bomb. But the pizza delivery driver is screaming at the cops. He's like, I'm going to blow up. This is a bomb around my neck. And as the videos were capturing dash cam footage, the guy blew up. It was real. Pizza bomb, man, yeah. Absolutely crazy story. True, but crazy. Arnott says, sounds like Holman is on his way to Minnesota and Walz is going to start working with Trump. That's good news. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Hello? How'd it go? Did you get in any fights? What's that? Oh. I don't understand how we're having popcorn as a snack sometimes at night when we're watching movies. How are there only 5 calories?
Well, this one's 0.
This one says 5. 100 servings, though, so I can have this whole thing for 500 calories. And the sodium is not that bad.
If you had 100, if you had the whole thing, you'd turn into...
It would be 300 of my daily percentage if I had that. But it makes the popcorn a lot better. I think. I don't know. I haven't really tried one, I don't think. All right. Love you. Sean, congrats. Shout out to Zephyr Spiger for winning a grand in your hand. Whoa, nice. Is that true? Hang on. Okay, we got some engineers in the studio, so I can't tell C-Lane to check right now. We'll see. Tam Jam says that pizza thing was on Dateline. Yeah, it was. That story was nuts. That's bad for you. It's not real? Marla disagrees. Those popcorn flavors are good. Okay, we got the thing that people I think missed about the Minnesota situation, the ICE shooting. That's coming up in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, okay? I got the call that I want a grand in my hand a little after 12 o'clock. That is absolutely awesome. Congratulations. And everybody else. This is why you do it. This is why you do it. 90 seconds and we're back live.
Paul Davis Restoration. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
Popcorn has a glycemic index of almost 0. I don't think corn is even a food and more like eating plastic. The thing is, at the end of the night, when we're sitting here, I'm trying to stay away from all of the bad little snacks and like chocolates. And so I have 100 calorie granola bars and then these little 100 calorie popcorn bags. And they're good, but I want a little extra zap. Little extra zap. Okay, 1 minute, we're coming back live. And I got some juice, some updates on the Minnesota ICE fallout, and what I think is the real issue that a lot of people are missing. So let's get to that, baby. Let's do it. We got your emails coming in. And we got the update on the podcast rant, too. All right, here we go.
Clarity and purpose. I'm Jessica Chen, and in season 2 of Leading by Example,
What does it take to lead with clarity and purpose? I'm Jessica Chen, and in season 2 of Leading by Example, we'll sit down with executives like Grace Chen of Birdie Gray to find out.
Founders need to learn how to get out of their own way and make space for bringing in the experts.
Listen to Leading by Example, Executives Making an Impact on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Leading by Example and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. P-A-Y. Pay. Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Because the newspapers don't come with cliff notes or potentially offensive accents.
Show today. An update on that podcast rant for some of you. Oh, boy. We'll get to that a little further on in the show. And the next episode is coming up in just a bit. Email the show, tips@thenewsjunkie.com, tips@thenewsjunkie.com. You can email me, and if you want to put anonymous on top, I won't say your name, all right? I promise you that much. If it's a good and helpful and interesting email, it'll be on the show. If it's not, right into the trash bin of life, just like that.
Bye.
All right, couple of things. When you hear, listening to this station, the keywords, it's important to remember, like, even if you haven't gotten a call back, even if you haven't won in a while, you got a good chance of winning this thing. So just pay attention. From what I hear, Celine, we just had somebody in chat who won $1,000.
Michael in Orlando won $1,000 by getting that 11 a.m. keyword.
How about that, man? All you have to do, listen to the show. You hear the keywords. There was just one right there. And you can remember the keyword and do what the big voice tells you to, and you could win just like that. So exciting to hear that, and keep trying, everybody. Give it a shot. All right, one of the things I wanted to talk about that I think was probably on the worst side of what happened this weekend in Minnesota was afterwards, there was just blatant dishonesty going on. Afterwards, you got this guy who he shows up at the event he shows up where ICE was operating at the moment. In Minneapolis, in case you don't know, the reason why all of this is happening is because there are these groups that are very coordinated. They work with each other. They're in signal chats. They're on social media platforms. They're out there trying to find ICE everywhere. You know, some of them are absolutely crazy, chasing around vehicles that have nothing to do with this and demanding the papers of those people, and it's unhinged. But they're working together to like deputize themselves and stop these federal officers from doing what they were doing. And so that's what brings us to the moment where this all happened. The guy who shows up to the protest, he has a gun on him, a handgun. It's a 6 hour, but to most people that's not going to mean anything. It's just a handgun. He had a handgun on him. And the handgun either was pulled from his person or fell on the ground. I haven't seen anything convincing enough of either one of those, but the gun was removed by one of the ICE officers away from the scene. And then the unarmed man was shot as people were shouting, as ICE officers were shouting gun. The unarmed man was shot and killed by the ICE officers. And it became pretty clear once anybody with a brain saw the first or second or seventh video on this, that these ICE officers were in the wrong, that they had killed this guy, and that this is bad all the way around. But still, you had these press conferences going on where a lot of these folks in charge, like Border Patrol head Bovino, here's an example of him talking about this, they were just lying. I mean, say what you will, but they were just lying about what was going on and what had happened. And this is not the way you win the PR battle, by lying. If, like I told you, there's a reason why I told you that 80+% of Americans had seen the Renee Good video. the reason why I tell you that is because you can't just come up with your own narrative. If everybody is seeing the video, they're going to have their own takeaway, but they're not going to believe some of the stuff that was said afterwards. Like, here's the head of the Border Patrol, Bovino.
The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
All right, so that is just not true.
Man.
That's just not true at all. He had a gun on him. It's his Second Amendment right. I thought we were protecting those. I'll be the only non-hypocritical person if I need to be in this country sometimes. You're allowed to have a gun. Should he have had a gun? Should he have been there? Those are totally different questions. But he was allowed legally to have a gun in that place. The presence of a gun is not any kind of excuse for you to extrajudicially murder somebody. That's not how it works. This is America still, despite what some people think. And you cannot do that. But it was very, very clear watching any of the footage or anything going on there that even though I think this guy was part of the agitators who were there to stop the enforcement of these immigration laws from these federal officers, that he was not trying to, whatever he said, exert maximum damage. I'll go back to his words.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
That's just fiction. That's just an absolute work of fiction. He didn't pull his gun out and head towards the officers. He didn't seem to have any agenda to shoot those ICE officers. By the way, he didn't shoot those ICE officers.
He had his phone in his hand.
Yeah, he didn't pull, as far as I've seen from any video, the weapon out on those ICE officers. So that is just a work of fiction. And then the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had a news conference where it was the same kind of thing, where it's just dishonesty. It was not.
He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
It's basically the same
word for word.
Yeah, it's basically the same talking point.
Is that a group chat that they all were in before the press conferences started?
There was a press release right before both of those events, and it had basically the same language. And it's this idea that like we can never admit when we're wrong, and we got to fight like hammers with hammers all the time. But I think you have to win people over. Like, I think people understand at the base of this that there is a problem and has been a problem. It's probably one of the main reasons why Trump got elected to begin with in this country with illegal immigration. I think most people understand that when there are final orders of deportation from a judge, these federal officers are well within their rights to deport people from the country. This is how countries that are healthy operate. You have legal immigration, and when somebody comes in the country illegally or overstays a visa or something, they go through the process. If a judge says it's time to deport them, then you deport them, and that is completely and totally normal and has happened under every president ever in the history of ever, right? This is how this works. I think people see this stuff, but then I think people also see, hey, you can't even just admit that you were wrong here. Like, this is obvious that this was wrong. It was obvious that this guy should be alive right now. And despite the fact that you completely disagree with the dude, it doesn't mean that he deserves to die. And I think that's just very clear. And it's going to be clear to normal people who are seeing these videos. But there was...
So what's the course of action? Them just lying and we go about our business until someone else gets murdered in broad daylight?
No, not in my judgment. No. I would say that there absolutely positively needs to be an investigation of this entire thing. They need to talk to all those officers involved, get all the rest of the footage that they possibly could. There's a chance maybe I see something in that footage that changes my mind, but I'm pretty doubtful that I would change my mind just based on what I've already seen. And I think then the officer should have his day in court. Will they end up getting this person and jailing them like so many people probably want? I don't know. I mean, the officer could say, I heard my colleagues shouting gun, gun, and I thought that this person had a gun and they were pulling it on me. It's just more complicated.
8 of them piled on top of him. I mean,
that doesn't matter though.
Apparently it does not. I
mean, if you're a police officer, or a federal officer in this case, you are allowed to use lethal force if you have a reasonable suspicion that somebody is going to try to take your life. We talk with Moses about this stuff all the time. The guy was totally wrong, or guys. I don't know if multiple people put the fatal shots in this. I don't know how that went down, but they were obviously wrong in my estimation. But that doesn't mean, just like the Renee Good thing, I don't think the officer should have shot her and killed her. I think he easily could have gotten out of the way and they could have apprehended her down the road, and nobody needed to die over that. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that the officer. Yeah, that doesn't mean that the officer is going to lose the legal argument. Right? Those are very, very different things to me. But afterwards, almost all of the news outlets, some of you will say this is not surprising, but I'm talking about the Wall Street Journal, which generally is a little more friendly to the Trump administration, said time for ICE to pause in Minneapolis. This is the New York Times. The unjust killing of Alex Preddy makes a turning point in Trump's second term. The New York Post says what Trump's next move needs to be in Minneapolis. And the New York Times is this one. The Trump administration is lying to our faces. Congress must act, says the editorial board of the New York Times. And you might say, who cares? And, that's fine. But what I see is a lot of people are going to start asking questions. Like, why is there so much of a push in Minneapolis to begin with? Minneapolis, I don't even think is in like the top 50 in this country of populations with illegal immigrants that, need to be dealt with in some way. There are all kinds of other cities, and when people say this, they're right. There's all kinds of other cities where law enforcement cooperates with ICE, and there's no problems. There's not people wearing armor on the streets. There's not people getting shot and killed. There is none of this drama going on in other cities where they're getting local support to do it. I would suggest, why not put the focus on those cities and show ways that it improves those cities for the citizens and the actual bad guys that you're getting off the streets, as opposed to just completely screwing up the way everybody views ICE and public opinion by tripling, quadrupling down in Minnesota. And that seems to be something that's spreading around quite a bit. For instance, this is a guy who often aligns with ICE. He's a correspondent for Fox News. He says, since yesterday's deadly shooting in Minnesota, I've talked to more than half a dozen federal sources involved in immigration enforcement, including several in senior positions, who all tell me they've grown increasingly uneasy and frustrated with some of the claims and narratives DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, pushed in the aftermath of the shooting. Specifically, I'm told there's extreme frustration with DHS officials going on TV and putting out statements claiming that Alex Preddy was intending to conduct a massacre of federal agents or wanted to carry out maximum damage. You just heard that. After numerous videos appeared to show those claims were inaccurate. So the idea was that even internally, there's a lot of people who are absolutely uncomfortable with this.
Was the comment about him having loaded magazines, like multiple loaded magazines, was that correct, or was that part?
His gun was loaded, and they did show the gun with a magazine on top of it in one of the images that I saw. But again, that doesn't really matter if the person didn't pull the gun to begin with.
I know. I was just curious. Like, you said they're outright lying about the fact that he wanted to massacre police officers.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
And I tend to agree with that. But I was wondering, how far does the lie go? Like, was there actual loaded magazines picked up? I hadn't heard.
He had a gun. He definitely had a gun. Yeah, he undoubtedly had a gun. Was there additional magazines? I think that's meant to make it seem more nefarious.
Of course.
I think it's meant to be like, not only did this guy have a gun, he had even more. I think that's what it's kind of meant to do, to like compound things here. You're never going to win the hearts and minds of Americans doing this kind of stuff. You have to back up and readjust and focus on areas where they're welcoming ICE in.
Do you think they care to win the hearts of Americans at this point?
They better. Yeah. Yes.
They better, but I'm not seeing that they're going to try to turn things around and hand out ice cream to those that are here legally.
Well, obviously that's ridiculous. I think that their goal is never to coddle people who are in this country illegally. Their goal is quite literally to deport those people when the process comes to its end.
But so far they've killed 2 Americans.
They've killed 2 Americans in Minneapolis. Yes. They've killed 2 different people, Renee Good in her vehicle, and this guy, Alex Preddy, this weekend. And I think that both of those shouldn't have happened, personally. I think both of those shouldn't have happened. I also think these people shouldn't be out in the streets deputizing themselves and fighting with these officers and engaging in this like moral crusade. I mean, I think that both of those things can be true at the same time. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless they're absolutely brain dead lunatics, all of the people at all these organizations should care very much what the American public thinks about this stuff. Because if you lose the support of all of the American public, it's just not going to work. It's not going to happen anymore. You think you'll get smashed in the midterms already, it'll be even worse, and then you won't be able to do any of this. And then we'll just have everybody throwing each other behind bars forever. So, yeah, I think that they should care about that. If they don't, I mean, there's just no way that they aren't aware and knowledgeable that they need to have people's popular support on this issue. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to, the next episode is coming up next. What's coming up on the next episode?
What's coming up on the next episode? Sydney Sweeney may be facing some legal troubles for a lingerie promo that put the D in busted. A popular music duo once said you can have this lap dance for free, but these days, one of the Neptunes allegedly tried to get all the things for free. Plus, the following advertisement is brought to you by Ye's Sorries. All that and so much more coming up on the next episode.
And that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real radio is The Jim Colbert Show. Talk radio with a side of chaos. The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
This weather report is brought to you by Mills Air.
Hey, hello. Let's go, Mike on. Stand by. Just need to pull up something here.
Up to about 20 and 30 miles per hour.
Fire up chat.
Turning much colder tonight with temperatures likely hovering just above freezing.
We're trying to look into this private jet crash, by the way.
This report is sponsored.
It was an attorney's plane. We'll look at that at some point.
Keep it simple with Guac On, the ready-to-love guacamole made with fresh ingredients. No fillers, no junk, just the good stuff. Guac On. Life tastes better when it's easy. Now at Publix.
Hello. Come on in, everybody. Take a seat. We're just getting started. We're going to peek at the next episode when we come back. Then we'll get into a lot of your feedback. And I got a lot more to work in on the show. Just a couple of minutes till we're back live. We need to set age limits on presidents. It's a bit ridiculous. Fair enough. I think most people support that. I mean, I don't think I'm not sure everybody's locked in on where they would draw the line, but I think most people support age limits on elected officials in general. Rahm Emanuel just proposed something regarding age cutoff of 75 for an elected position.
Dollars expire in 1 year. Ends February 8th, 2026. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at dkng.co/predictionspromo. Here's something most of us don't want to think about, but probably should.
I sound ageist, but I'm not. No, I don't think that sounds ageist. Don't live in this world where people are constantly scared about being an ist or an ism. It's legitimate to consider people's age when it comes to certain things. When it comes to them being in positions of power, when it comes to them being in a position that could put other people in danger, like behind the wheel of a car. It's absolutely reasonable to consider people's age for those things. Too cold for protest, Mike says. Mike, the temperatures were down in the single digits in Minnesota this weekend, and there was a huge crowd of people at the anti-ICE protests. Not the battle against ICE officers where people are LARPing as some sort of deputies that think they can fight with these officers, but the actual protest. If it was the summer right now, I think you'd see multiples of those numbers. I think you'd see multiples. 90 seconds, and we're coming back for the next episode. Unfettered says, I support ICE getting gang members, drug dealers, and pedos out of this country. My problem is shooting Americans. Yeah, I think something people should probably take the time to do is, ICE finally got smart and released a website where they have like 20,000 of the worst that they've deported out of this country, and it shows the people and the crime they committed. For the abolish ICE crowd, I would challenge you to go through something like that, see these people that are deported, and tell me which ones you want to keep. When these people are being deported, some of them for absolutely violent crimes, abusing children, the worst of the worst kind of things. So you got to tell me which ones you're okay with keeping. Because it's just the truth that some of these folks are not great. Now, I agree. Enough of the Americans being shot, or anybody else for that matter. But there is some sort of effort just to pretend like all of these are sweet, peaceful, awesome people.
Don't let data limits.
That's of course not true.
Master in the family group chat.
All right, here we go.
Fix. Just sign X. Breathe. Use as directed.
Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com or Walmart.
The free iHeartRadio app is the #1 app for radio.
And the one thing you won't have to worry about this year, the price going up.
That's because the app is and always has been free.
Get what millions already have.
The free iHeartRadio app, the #1 app for radio.
Dispensing unsolicited advice on a wide range of pointless topics.
The feedback coming in. More about all the insane weather that hit a lot of the country over the weekend, and so much more on the way just moments from now on the show. Right now, it's time, folks. Let's get into it. Let's do the next episode.
Because there's a lot on TV, and you can't possibly keep up with all of it. Even though you should, because what else are you going to talk about?
A potentially unsafe situation.
Nothing. Weather's nice. It's time for the next episode with Sabrina.
Hey, smoke weed every day.
Hold up. The next episode brought to you by That Mortgage Guy Dawn, thatmortgageguydawn.com, the website that will change your life or make it much easier when you're making big life decisions like refinancing or buying your first dream home, debt consolidation, buying a business, or expanding that business. Work with an expert and a friend you could trust by going to thatmortgageguydawn.com.
Don't miss the boat, compare your quote with thatmortgageguydawn.com.
49 years ago, 1977, one of the original guitarists for this group right here. Fleetwood Mac is correct. And on this day, Peter Green, the original lead guitarist, was arrested and later committed to a mental hospital because he decided to pull a shotgun on his accountant for sending him what? Shotgun right to the
bill?
face. No. See, they want
I
to give it
don't
a go,
know.
or you already know?
A check?
Yeah, I will give you half the points. He pulled a shotgun on the man's face, his accountant, for sending him too many royalty checks.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, what a problem.
Wow.
And then he realized in the mental hospital, I may have gone too far. But here we
Yeah,
are.
I'd say so. I thought it was a weird mistake.
Speaking of royalties, even the best musical partnerships can die or have really awkward moments in court. And I, of course, am speaking of this group right here.
The Neptunes.
The Neptunes is right. You saw this story, Sean?
No, I mean, the Neptunes is Pharrell and
Chad Hugo.
Okay, I don't
And
know.
it is Chad who has filed the lawsuit against Pharrell Williams.
What was the difference between the Neptunes and NERD? Because I thought...
Oh, that's a good question.
There's a lot of overlap
totally
there.
different band? Maybe.
Yeah, different songs that were released, I guess, based on this lawsuit about lost wages and other issues stemming from their multi-decade relationship. It says Williams engaged in self-dealing, concealed material information, and diverted revenues owed to plaintiff wrote his attorney. Such willful, fraudulent, and malicious conduct warrants the imposition of punitive damages.
Oh, gosh. This is actually kind of weird. The Neptunes were a legendary production duo. NERD was their band.
Oh, okay.
So
the royalties due for certain songs.
Sure. Like you wouldn't say I have tickets to go see the Neptunes. I have tickets to see NERD because that's the band, but the production duo also had a name.
Mostly they make songs for other people,
Right.
but then when they make their own songs, it's NERD.
So this suit is seeking as much as $1 million as part of the release of NERD's final record, 2017's No One Ever Really Dies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his lawyer says he also hasn't received money from the NERD merchandising arrangement since fall of 2023 and is owed upwards of $575,000 for just a segment alone. So this should be interesting. And Pharrell finds himself again in court surrounding some sort of music. This guy right here, and I'll have to leave you with this, is Super Sorry.
Kanye West.
He put out a full-blown ad in the Wall Street Journal apologizing to, and I quote, those I hurt for his, we'll call it, alarming behavior.
It's very un-Kanye of him.
In the last couple years, he named his gravitation towards Nazis as something he particularly regrets. He blames the car crash that nearly took his life 25 years ago for causing undiagnosed damage to his frontal lobe, which he says affected his mental health and led to his bipolar type 1 diagnosis. I lost touch with reality. Things got worse the longer I ignored the problem. I said and did things I deeply regret. It does not excuse what I did, though. I'm not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. I love the Jewish people, says Kanye West. He later addresses the black community, calling it unquestionably the foundation of who I am. I am sorry to have let you down. I love us.
I thought Jonah Hill was his was responsible.
I thought so too, but
for
then we
him
didn't
loving
hear
the
from
Jews
him.
again.
And then his wife forgot her pants yet again this past weekend. But he put out the ad on the Wall Street Journal, says he's sorry, big time. On the boob tube, we have the following: 24th season premiere of American Idol on ABC. Second season premiere of Extracted on Fox. You can catch the series premiere of History's Deadliest with Ving Rhames.
Yeah. the actor.
Who's that?
Ving Rhames is a famous actor.
Giant black guy.
Yeah.
From
The Green Mile?
He died.
Or am I thinking of the same?
He
I'm thinking of a
died. That
different
guy
dude.
died big time.
Ving Rhames is from Pulp Fiction, Mission Impossible.
Now I know what you're talking about. Well, that should be a fun show on the
He's in a
History
lot
Channel.
of stuff.
And he had that Bible.
And he had the
Ving
Bible.
Rhames edition.
Right. Yeah.
Paris
Sure.
Hilton will be on Fallon. Follow your dreams of me on Instagram at Sabrina Ambro. Most importantly, stay with me, America.
Smoke weed every day.
Thank you, Sabrina. All right, quick break here. We'll get back into the action in just a moment. There's a doctor on the hot seat. We got to talk about what happened at the Miami airport. Oh boy, are there a lot of clips to get through and your feedback. It's all coming up next on the News Junkie.
Your chance to win $1,000 in your hand is minutes away on Real Radio 104.1. Brought to you by Mills Air.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
There's a couple accidents to look out for on Goldenrod Road at Fort Jefferson Boulevard, on Osceola Polk Line Road near.
Welcome back. Show behind the show. Show behind the scenes. Breaking news. Breaking news, everybody. Some news just coming in. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson is confirming to Fox News that several federal agents had their body cameras on during the altercation that led to the deadly shooting of Alex Preddy in Minnesota. And footage from multiple angles is currently being reviewed by investigators. So there was multiple ICE officers with body cams on and activated, and investigators are poring over the footage from these body cams. There's your update. Anybody think they would see any additional footage that would change their mind? I mean, maybe, but I think it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Several of as opposed to all of. I guess. I think that's a fair read. Yeah, I think maybe the suggestion would be like not every one of the officers, because there was about five officers that were actively engaged with this guy before they killed him, and in some way struggling with this guy. So that does seem to imply that maybe one of them or more didn't have body cameras. You know what's kind of, I just think this is true. You can disagree if you want. What's interesting is the body cam footage probably won't reveal too much. Can you imagine if there was a body camera on a football player in the middle of a scrum, and then, there's all, like, what, I don't know that you're going to get a lot from it. And it's like, body camera footage works the best with a bit of distance. So if I'm an officer and I'm engaging with a person, it's a little bit of distance that allows you to get a firm picture of what's going on. Who are those investigators? I would imagine at this point it would be the feds investigating it, because it's a federal officer or officers that were at the center of this. But the state can probably do its own investigation, and things would get a lot more complicated there if they were to do that, legally speaking. And I think they will. Why wouldn't you want the body cam to be on unless you were doing something nefarious? Well, saying that some of the officers had body cams does not necessarily imply that any of them were turning them off or that they didn't have them off. The truth is that not all ICE officers have body cams. In fact, not all police have body cams. It's a much, 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 much bigger number than it used to be. And I think it's fair to say most ICE officers have body cams, but not all of them. So it wouldn't mean necessarily that this was like a nefarious thing, that they were trying to hide something. It would just mean that maybe not all of them had them. 2 minutes and we're coming back live.
This is the sound of Jack. Buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack.
Kyle says Walls wants to keep it in-house, yes. And Dwayne says the FBI is supposed to be investigated but being blocked. I haven't seen the FBI suggesting that they've been blocked from this investigation. But I would question the feds investigating it, and honestly, I would question Minneapolis investigating it too. I think it should be an independent body that investigates these things, because it's red hot politically. It's red hot politically, and I would want an absolutely independent body to look at this. If people would mind their own business, we would not have this problem of citizens interfering with law and order, says Sabrosa. By the way, there's currently a GoFundMe for the family of this guy. Last check, and we'll bring it up again, but last check, I think it was over $1 million had been donated to the GoFundMe. Ooh, I sent my doodle of C-Lane. We'll have to do that too. That'll be a good distraction here. We'll have to get into the rate my blanks and see what these C-Lane doodles are looking like so far. All right, stand by, folks.
If you're doing nothing, you're doing
lots of emails, lots of dispatches.
Even if you're doing nothing, you're still basking in the warm sun, enjoying the peaceful ocean waves. You're breathing. Don't forget about breathing. Definitely.
Oh, come back.
With Norwegian, even if you're doing nothing, you're still basking in the warm sun, enjoying the peaceful ocean waves. You're breathing. Don't forget about breathing. Definitely need to be breathing. So you get to do nothing or everything, but you still need to be breathing. It's like really important.
Experience the difference with cruises to Alaska, the Caribbean, and Europe. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line ships registry the Bahamas and USA.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Accidents happen, but Mo's here to help. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or call 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando, an iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Gold. G-O-L-D. Gold. Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Occupying the space between high society and prison tattoos. This is the News Jump.
By the way, an amazing thing is, maybe I should ask more questions about this, but if you're just somebody who happens to upon the YouTube stream and you're hanging out with us streaming the show and you hear one of the keywords, you can still win, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
As long as you're in the United States of America, right?
They're listening to our station, watching on the stream is a form of that, and they're eligible too. We've had out-of-state winners winning $1,000 for putting in the keyword.
Awesome. That's very, very cool. Love to hear that. Okay, we have a lot of things to get to here. People are all fired up out there. I saw there was somebody, they suggested this person was a doctor. You never know what's what. I don't know if this is true or not, but some guy named Eric Martindale said because of people getting upset over the weekend with the ICE killing video, he said, I will not perform anesthesia for any surgeries or procedures for MAGA. It is my right. It is my ethical oath. And I stand behind my education. Where are you getting that from?
No, I am saying in the sense I cannot believe someone would say that. I'm just doing an exclamation.
My ethical oath, and I stand behind my education. I own all of my businesses, and I can refuse anyone, this guy says. And then on his actual Facebook page, I found, he said, my Facebook Messenger, and Instagram have been hacked. And that post was taken down, and it's like, you've been hacked. So I don't know, what's what, and I'm sure they'll look into this. But they were suggesting that guy was posting some stuff saying he wasn't going to offer anesthesia for is this somebody? This is the actual post. This says receipts. Oh, look, receipts, LOL. But I don't see his actual. This is him saying enjoy your slow death to somebody else, apparently. He says he was hacked, folks. So we'll never know until they do the investigation. But a lot of comments on his personal Facebook page. Certainly don't like to see the medical professionals engaging in this, but it happens. It gets people very, very upset.
It's weird that he mentions the oath part. Like, if he wasn't hacked and he actually did post this and then he regrets it now and took it down and says he was hacked, it's weird that you would mention the oath, because the oath you take as a physician, I thought, was to help when at all possible.
Regardless of your political affiliations.
What is the oath? I talk about the Hippocratic Oath all the time on the show. What is the actual thing? Is it a long thing? Is it like is it as simple as like thou shalt do no harm, or what? Is it just a line?
Yes.
Or a paragraph, or a...
I'm trying to get the whole thing.
It's pretty old, and it's like it's from Greek text. I'm trying to find the actual
text
words
of the
of
oath.
it.
Here we go. I swear by Apollo Healer. Okay, I think this is the first
Can't
one.
be it. Is that right?
That's I'm on the wiki page, but it's the Hippocratic Oath in ancient Greek.
All right, what's it say?
1923. And by all the gods and goddesses, making them it's what the wiki is saying, Sean.
Okay.
making them my witnesses that I will carry out according to my ability and judgment this oath and indenture to hold my teacher in this art equal to my own parents, to make him partner in my livelihood when he is in need of money, to share mine with him. I feel like they narrowed down the oath since.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means. It's like
Hippocratic
words.
oath. That's the wiki page. So as far as medical ethics, it is mentioned.
There is some parts of the oath that I think some of the doctors aren't quite adhering to.
So you're seeing what I'm saying,
real one?
right?
Yeah. There's a part that says, I will not give a lethal drug to anyone if I am asked, nor will I advise such a plan, which there are doctors in certain areas of the world that are doing that.
Yeah.
And it says, and similarly, I will not give a woman a pessary to cause an abortion.
What's a pessary?
That sounds probably like a really old term for
like
medication. This is a removable device that goes in. Yeah, there's a.
Okay, so I got a more modern version from medicine.wvu.edu.
Yeah, because it must be refreshed, obviously.
Yeah,
It can't
because
be
that
this
one's
thing.
very long as far as the wiki goes. I do solemnly swear by whatever I hold most sacred that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor.
So no do, no harm? I thought that was like the main
saying do
damn
no harm
thing.
as well. Yeah.
This could be one of those things that everybody just says, and we're like, oh, the Hippocratic Oath, and then nobody actually knows what it is. But it seems like a doctor shouldn't be talking about refusing treatments to people based on their political leanings. I don't want to know my doctor's political leanings at all. I don't care. I don't just treat everybody the same way. Be nice and engage in politics afterwards. It's not that I think that medical professionals should not by default be able to engage in politics, but I just don't want to know. I personally don't want to know. All right, over to some interesting things I think to think about after the ICE shooting that happened this weekend that exploded all over the place. And we'll get into some Super Bowl things, some other things momentarily. But this was, I thought, interesting. Pew Research had an article, and it says the 20 metropolitan areas with the largest numbers of unauthorized immigrants. So like illegal immigrants in these cities, they have the highest population. And Minneapolis is not even there. Minneapolis is not even in the mix when I look at these 20 cities with the largest number of illegal immigrants. So it kind of seems like maybe they go after Minneapolis. They go to the places where they're a sanctuary city and they think that they're going to go in there and like prove a lesson or teach them a lesson or something. And then it causes more issues. I don't see why you wouldn't double down on the cities that support ICE right now. Go into the cities where and there's multiple places where this has happened, where law enforcement wants to participate, where there are no agitators out there trying to stop the federal officers from doing what they're doing. Be very clear in those cities about the people that you are getting off of the streets. They already started a website for that, which I think has about 20,000 of the people whom ICE has arrested or deported. And it has next to them, it's like the worst of the worst, the crimes that they've committed. I think there are a legitimate number of soccer moms who think everybody that is being apprehended by ICE, I legitimately think this. They think that they're all either Americans or just really good people who didn't do anything wrong. And the fact is, there are people who the only thing they've done is come into this country illegally, but there are a lot of people as well who have committed vile crimes that we all should agree should be adios muchachoed out of this country. Like the website that shows all of their crimes includes a lot of people for sexually abusing children, murder, rape, all kinds of things that almost every normal person would say, yeah, I don't want that person in the United States of America. So I think they should focus on places where they're wanted, where they can improve things and then prove that they made things better. Focus on the fraud in Minneapolis. Focus on that. Go toe to toe with Minneapolis on what appears to be a massive problem that a lot of the leadership there wants to sweep under the rug and say, we're going to turn our attention to this after, we've been involved in these ICE raids for the past couple of months or so. I think they just have a massive PR issue. And it's so bad now that I think they've lost the vast majority of people, just generally speaking. They don't have a positive view of these officers. And what are you going to do? You know, you got to win over people. You have to win hearts and minds. If you don't do that, you're never gonna win. The former President Obama, put in a statement about this over the weekend, saying the killing of Alex Preddy is a heartbreaking tragedy. It should also be a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that our core values as a nation are increasingly under assault, he says. Federal law enforcement and immigration agents have a tough job, but Americans expect them to carry out their duties in a lawful, accountable way and to work with rather than against state and local officials to ensure public safety. So you see a lot of stuff like that. He's saying they should work with rather than against state and local officials to ensure public safety. That's the problem in Minneapolis. The state and local officials are being explicitly told to not assist in any way with the feds to ensure public safety, which is why you see a very different situation there than you might see in certain cities in Texas where the same operations are going on with ICE. So I agree even with former President Obama there, but you also need to direct that at the state and local officials that are not interested in working with ICE and haven't wanted to do this, it would appear. What else do I have on that front? I mean, there was so much content on this. There was a frightening thing where was this in St. Paul? In St. Paul, Minnesota, one of the Twin Cities, these agitators showed up at a hotel that they thought ICE was at. The only person that I saw that was there in this footage, maybe I'll show it here, they're like smashing windows, busting into this hotel. The officer that I saw wearing green was not an ICE officer. It said prison enforcement or something. It was like a prison guard or something that was at this facility. But all these people hopped up on anger, went to the hotel and just started smashing all of the windows. And there was only 2 or so officers. Apparently, when the local authorities were called, they didn't do much to stop this or show up. One dude was all bloody as these people were just smashing the sign outside, smashing the windows out of the hotel, spray painting all over the place, and just causing absolute chaos outside these places. I'll quadruple down on the fact that this is not protesting. These people are not protesters. These people are agitators trying to engage in some sort of battle with sometimes shadows, not even like, I don't even know if ICE was at this building. I don't even know if they were at this hotel, but they're so hopped up on this that they're just confronting anybody. And a lot of people get caught up in the mix. Apparently they have nothing to do with it. So that too is wrong. Like that too is bad. This is worth sharing for the streamers, at least. While this Home Suites by Hilton was being attacked by a lot of these agitators, a video shows one guy at the hotel who's still on the treadmill.
Do you think the person knows?
He must see what's going on.
No, he's probably looking at a screen
real quick.
There's one person in the gym and there's open windows by, and he's still on the treadmill, just running as there's people attacking the building as this all goes on.
I wonder what he's listening to.
I don't know. You know what I did that I think was a good plug? We talked about the Netflix building climber guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy said he was listening to Tool the entire time. He listens to Tool. He made like a Tool playlist, and that's what gets him in the zone.
At some point, his communication was getting a little iffy as he ascended the building. And he said something like, I can't hear my Tool anymore. Or, you couldn't hear. He's like, I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me. And apparently they were getting his feed, but he wasn't sure if if he was getting theirs because he couldn't hear as much of the stuff anymore.
Just built different, that guy. Just completely and totally a different kind of human being, I think. So we'll take a lot of your feedback on this as the show rolls on. I really think that they made a huge mistake with this, and more people than not are going to see these videos and say, we can't support this, yada, yada, yada. The problems just become worse for them. Why not pull out of Minnesota, push on the fraud in Minneapolis instead, go to places right now, at least, where you're being welcomed and helped by the locals, and see how efficient you could be in dealing with problems of illegal immigration there. But we'll see what you think about all of this. Send a dispatch in over at thenewsjunkie.com. While we have a couple of minutes, I want to get into our challenge for today. It's Rate My Blank because it's Monday. And today it's Rate My Doodle, which we've never done before, where you've been asked to draw Sea Lane. Rate My Doodle Sea Lane edition. And here's AJ. She's got, this is actually pretty good. Take a look at this. That is pretty good.
That's a good dudes.
It shows Sea Lane in front of his microphone here. You can see all of these on the website at thenewsjunkie.com in the dispatches section.
I am impressed.
That's good.
Very accurately got the, how my pocket is a little wrinkled here, too.
And the wire to the microphone. Fantastic.
She got some skill.
Got my vote.
All right, let's see what else we have, because there's so many more. Here's Jackson with drawing of Sea Lane.
Jackson, not so much, but I don't hate it.
It's funny. I like it.
It's a little more doodly and a little less realistic than the last one that we saw.
Are you on ecstasy in this drawing?
It says Dole Mike, and it's another doodle of Sea Lane here for Rate My Blank. Again, you can see all these on the website. Here's Cosidius, who has Sea Lane here. They're all really getting that beard in. And your sign. They got your sign behind you here. It says keyword is bonus. Well, that's not what the keyword is now.
This microphone looks a bit more phallic than some of the others have.
But uncircumcised or circumcised.
It's quite the head, the pronounced head on that particular microphone.
Go to Stephapy.
Okay, hang on. Here's Tuck Frump, Sea Lane with McDonald's breakfast. Do you have McDonald's breakfast?
I did not have McDonald's breakfast today, no.
Your mouth is insane.
But one of the AI ones has my Polar Pop in it from, when I'm hot, I give me a Polar Pop.
Go to Stepafy, you said? There's so many of these. Not that I, Karen, Mel Bell. I'll get to all you guys later. I'm just trying to fast forward a little bit through these. Stepafy, right here. Oh, my God. Professor Booty, that must be AI. Yeah. That's offensive.
That's very flattering downstairs, but also there's a tiny hole in one
of the testicles. Yeah, as a result of his recent procedure. Yeah.
Pay attention to details, folks.
If this is accurate, it would be quite hard for Sea Lane to walk, but
just quite hard.
Right. Take a peek at that. Those are up for you to gander at over on thenewsjunkie.com in the dispatches section. We'll come back and get to more of your responses, your reactions, more details. I want to get to the Super Bowl showdown, more of the winter weather. Too much to get to in a short amount of time, but we're going to do it anyhow. It's coming up next in the News Junkie.
Real radio is
the Monsters in the Morning.
Angel on my right. I got people in the burlesque world all around me. So I got questions, man. And I'm like, hey.
So you're staring at the man's junk.
Yeah.
The Monsters in the Morning.
Real Radio 104.1.
There's a couple accidents to look out for on Goldenrod Road at Fort Jefferson Boulevard, on Osceola Polk Line Road near Lake Wilson Road. There's a lot of juicy traffic. Call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-477 from the Traffic Center in James, Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster. I started Blindster in my garage back in 2010. Since then, we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters nationwide. Our blinds are DIY friendly, guaranteed to fit, and always cheaper than big box stores. Blindster.com.
New year, new you is not about changing your whole personality. It's about having that refresh, showing up sharper, more confident. And that's why Hammer and Nails is so important, especially this month, because they got a reset deal for you. This isn't just some barbershop, your run-of-the-mill corner barbershop. It is total man care. You get your haircut, beard, hot towel, all with a drink in your hand in a lounge designed for men. And the locations are waiting for you across Central Florida, offering the New Year Reset. That is a complimentary signature upgrade on your first visit. How do you get that? You mentioned my name, Sea Lane, and Real Radio 104.1. Book today at hammerandnailsgrooming.com or download the app and become a member. Hammer and Nails. Come as you are, leave as you want to be.
Out here, if you're doing nothing, you're doing everything right. Though on a cruise with Norwegian, even if you're doing nothing, you're still basking in the warm sun, enjoying the peaceful ocean waves. You're breathing. Don't forget about breathing. Definitely need to be breathing. So you get to do nothing or everything, but you still need to be breathing. It's really important.
Okay, here we go.
Cruises to Alaska, the Caribbean, and Europe. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor or 1-888-NCL Cruise. Norwegian Cruise Line ships registered to Bahamas and USA.
You can feel the excitement of the air in RC. Feel the synergy into land and Ocala. But we fumbled.
Hey, everybody. We got about an hour and a half-ish left in the show. That is plenty of time to discuss plenty of things. Plenty of time for you to send over your takes. Dispatch us up, baby. Hit that subscribe button if you're over on YouTube. You can hang out with the show every single day. I'll be here for you between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. every single day of the week. And we'll go over all things viral on the News Junkie. So subscribe, hit that sub button over on YouTube. And by the way, I haven't done this. Mods or folks, just spam this link for a second. We have to do our poll for the bonus after show stream that you unlocked last week with our goals. We got new goals coming tomorrow, but the after show stream that has been locked in is going to be this weekend. But I need you to vote. The poll is thenewsjunkie.com/poll. Thenewsjunkie.com/poll, okay? Go to thenewsjunkie.com/poll. Tell me if you want it to be Saturday or Sunday. A chick named Woody. Good call out. Folks, if you're watching, hit the like button over on the stream. Don't be a completely disconnected viewer. At least just take the moment to spread the word and hit that like button on the YouTube channel. Thank you, Bootsy. TheNewsJunkie.com/poll. Choose whether you want Saturday or Sunday. It'll be this Saturday or Sunday. I gotta pee. And I only have a minute, so I am gonna have to hold it. Sunday, so Sean doesn't have to worry about going into work. Chick-fil-A? True. Large convenience factor there. It's gonna be the equivalent of the Super Bowl. This stream will be our Super Bowl. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be wild. We're coming back.
Before it was vintage, it was a revolution. This smells like the 90s.
Oh, copyright. Copyright. All right, here we go.
Nirvana, Alanis, Pearl Jam, Weezer, No Doubt, and more. With free weekend. Your favorite era, just a tap away. Open the free iHeartRadio app and listen now.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Gold. G-O-L-D. Gold. Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Because the newspapers don't come with cliff notes or potentially offensive accents.
Tips of the newsjunkie.com. And we'll work on our first dispatches of the day. I don't know. It's been busy, man. We haven't gotten to all of these things. I haven't played a single dispatch. Dispatches are coming up momentarily, plus emails. I promise you on that much. Over in Colorado, just some quick stats for you. Crested Butte, Colorado. Butte?
Oh.
Crested Butte, Colorado.
Sorry about your
23 inches of snow over the weekend. 23 inches in Crested Butte, Colorado, Butte. Sterling, Massachusetts, 22 inches of snow. Coventry, Connecticut, 18 inches. New City, New York, 17.
Damn.
Branchville, New Jersey, 17 inches. Zanesville, Ohio, 17 inches of snow this weekend. On and on it goes.
Did you see the footage of the lighthouses that after that first bout of freezing cold weather?
I don't think so, no.
It was beautiful. But
Yeah.
it's all the frozen like water and the ice, and they created like just sculptures, and you could see just frozen pancakes essentially throughout the ocean or the Great Lake. And never in a million years would you imagine that happens overnight. It seemed like a place you'd never seen before.
Well, 21 states got over a foot of sno.
That's
21
bonkers.
states. More than a foot of snow
And we
in
were
21 states.
90-something degrees at one point, yes.
I know. I feel a little bad, but we got to commiserate at least with these folks who are dealing with this. So sorry that you had to do that. Lots of Rate My Blanks going on. People submitting their Rate My Doodle of Sea Lane. This is an attempt for you to draw Sea Lane, doodle it yourself, and send in your photo dispatch. We have tons of submissions, and we'll get to those here in just a moment. Well, right now, Samuel is talking about the ice storm. He says, I sent in a dispatcher some pictures about the last 24 hours in the ice storm in Nashville. This happened this morning, he said. There was a sign down on the interstate that crashed into a semi-truck, and he sends this photograph over.
Whoa.
And the Nashville interstate sign, maybe from the ice or whatever, I guess, like, is broken. And, that when you're going on the interstate and those big signs which tell you which way to go and stuff, it stretches all the way across the road, and it fell. And it fell onto this semi-truck, it would appear, in this case. That's creepy and freaky and all the things. And I'm hoping you're doing okay over there. Let's see. This person doesn't want this on the air. A lot more people have videos of the exploding trees. I'll save those for right now, and I'll see if you guys have more thoughts on it. Julie says, "Happy Monday, News Junkie. I'm a podcast listener, and I caught up with the show this past weekend. After hearing you go nuclear on the suits on Friday, I wanted to let you know that on Thursday and Friday, the podcast was edited perfectly. No commercials, no content was cut off. I listened on Spotify," she says. I don't know if this feedback is helpful, but here it is. Maybe the suits got scared and are working on it. Who knows? I just know we can't lose the News Junkie, so they better get it together. For all of January thus far, all the commercials were present on the podcast except for Thursday and Friday. It was glorious to listen to seamlessly. Have all the best. Thank you for all of your hard work, says Julie. Meanwhile, Tina says, so I'm listening to the Friday podcast, and I get to the point where you're talking about the frustration of the podcast and issues that podcasters are having. In the middle of your rant, bam! Stupid commercial plays, not just once, but the same one twice in a row.
So, do you know how tempted I was to just find a random commercial in the middle of your rant and play it?
That happened anyways.
Just do it, and then to know that it did happen for somebody like that is quite humorous, I think.
I totally agree with you and the emailer. They completely suck. I'm going to start listening in the ways you suggested, and I want to encourage others to do the same in hopes iHeart will fix their obsession with commercials. By the way, love the show. I've been listening since day one, says Tina. Thank you, Tina. Jim says, I'm an avid
listener. You can't really knock iHeart's obsession with commercials. It's sort of part of how the way things go here, I
got to pay the bills. And I got to say, there was a lot of movement over the weekend on the podcast front. First of all, our local guy, Jack Bradshaw, was taking time working with me, sent a bunch of emails, listening to the podcast, trying to figure out what was going wrong. There is still, I believe, something happening. I think that I'm putting things into the overall podcast that then aren't always saving in there the right way, and that's causing an issue. But it looks like the skipping, we're past that issue, I think. It looks like we're past that issue.
There was like a 4-person conference call during the show today. And
I saw that.
Have been moved around, and so far promising. However, we did just watch the power go out once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
I think that was just the lights, but it was a little weird.
Yeah,
that's not
very
good.
strange.
So, yeah, a lot of people emailed about
also,
that.
we're on an extra station for a little bit today.
Are we? What's happening?
You were just some testing behind the scenes.
Okay.
What up?
Hello, additional station.
Yeah.
We'll never know. Mark says, hello, junkies. When I saw the videos, I thought I can hear an initial shot. He's talking about the Minnesota ICE shooting. Then the ICE officers jump back and draw their weapons, fatally shooting the citizen. I agree with everything else you explained. I would like to know who fired the first shot, Mark says. Well, Mark, I can tell you from everything that I've seen, there were no shots at all fired. And I don't believe that I'll have to eat my words on this one. The man who was killed did not fire any shots. Okay? I do not believe that they're going to come up with any information, anything that suggests that the dude who was killed fired off any shots. He just had a gun. And you might have a problem with him having a gun at a protest, but he has every right to have a gun at that protest. He's illegally allowed to do that. He has a Second Amendment right to have a gun. He had it. He did not pull it on any of these people, as far as we know, and didn't, shoot at any of these people, as far as we know. The news coming in not too long ago was that a Department of Homeland Security spokesman confirmed to Fox News that several of the federal agents had their body cameras on during the interaction that led to the deadly shooting of Alex Peretti in Minnesota, and footage from, quote, multiple angles is currently being reviewed by investigators. Now, I said earlier, like, I don't think I'll see anything else that will change my mind on this necessarily. I'm open to it. Maybe I do. But I don't think that I'll see anything that changes my mind. And these guys were all like the Alex Peretti guy who was killed by them was surrounded by 4 to 5 ICE officers. And it was kind of like a scrum on a football field. And if a football player, whenever he's going for a fumble, has a body cam on, I don't know what you're going to get from that. I think body cameras are best, most helpful, and most functional when there's a little bit of distance between the officer and the person who's being recorded, and not when there's like just everybody rolling around in a ball. But they allegedly are looking into this and seeing what's going on. The Department of Homeland Security says that several federal agents had body cameras on, and the footage from multiple angles is currently being reviewed. I can imagine, I don't think this is going out on a limb for me to say this, but if there was anything on those body cam videos from their perspective that made these ICE officers look less murdery in shooting and killing this guy, it would have already been released or will be released very, very, very soon. If there is anything that makes the ICE officers look more justified in killing this guy, what on earth would they hold it for? If they don't release anything else, you can guess that it's probably not going to improve their stance on this until, you know, it's released in the course of a broader investigation, I would guess. So, yeah, there we go. We'll see what else you guys have to say about this. Let's get to maybe one dispatch. Since I haven't done a single one here, I can definitely do that. Let's go to somebody talking about the doctor. Here is my Maria talking about the big story of the day. Hello?
Hey, News Junkies.
Hey, Maria.
Hope your Monday's going well.
You too.
Just wanted to make a comment that I heard this morning. A professional firearms person made the comment that the gun that the man had, that the police officer did take from him, is known to have some issues to where it fires on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So the comment
Not
was
a very good gun.
The gun
No.
fired on its own, which then triggered the reaction from the ICE officer.
Okay, I want to address that because it's absolutely spreading around out there quite a bit. The gun that the guy who was killed by ICE had was allegedly a gun called a Sig Sauer. That's the type of handgun manufacturer that I guess this guy had. Again, totally legally had it and was able to conceal it, had all the right paperwork, all that good stuff. The gun has been known, this particular type of firearm, has been known to have some issues with firing off when it wasn't intended to be fired. But using that as an excuse doesn't work for me. So let's say this Sig Sauer handgun, there must be hundreds of thousands of them in the United States of America.
Quite popular.
There's probably a small fraction of them that have had some issue where they have gone off when not intended by the operator of said firearm. You cannot make it okay for federal officers or anybody else for that matter to now say that particular type of gun has a problem. So I think even if it's not pointed at me or if the person doesn't aim at me, just the presence of the gun is a danger. So therefore we can just start shooting people and killing them.
Well, it's not visible, right? So, and he had his legal concealed permit.
He had his concealed carry permit. We don't know what happened when they were all on top of him. I don't know how the gun got out, but it got out and one of the officers appeared to grab it and remove it from the scene. So he was unarmed when he was shot. Those are the things that seem very, very clear to me. Those things seem clear. But you can't just say hey, this type of gun has had malfunction issues, so therefore you're justifying shooting anybody with that type of gun. That logic does not follow. That does not make any sense.
The sworn statement from the witnesses, especially the girl that was in the pink coat? I could have sworn I saw that. Like, what did she see? People were there that heard and saw all the back and forth. That was obviously very quick. We've seen the footage, multiple angles, but what about the witnesses?
I'll just be as honest with you as I can here, and this is what I'm trying to do with any story like this. I believe the testimony of all of the other people who were involved in this and were around this guy as he got shot and killed about as much as I believe all the ICE officers and what their side of this is going to be. I think the most important thing in the world is that this is like something where an impartial group of people look at this that has no dog in the fight, because the protesters are going to have their own version that I don't think will perfectly align with reality. And the ICE officers certainly already seem to be veering off into complete and total fiction. So I know a lot of the people there said, there was statements from people on the scene, but I don't know that is going to do anything to change the story. The video is the most powerful thing at the moment. And if there's more video, I don't know, maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. It's only time will tell if they release any more of this. But to me, it seems very clear that they should not have shot and killed this guy, and they were wrong in doing so. And there needs to be an investigation, but I want an independent investigation looking into exactly what happened here, and if there should be any punishments. Like, if the guy should face charges. Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you didn't commit a crime. Sometimes people think that, but that's not the case. If you can make a mistake, and it could be something that you could have to go to jail for too. We'll see. All right, quick break. Perpetually running behind today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will get jury duty worked in. Some big stories to handle for jury duty. Also, we got to talk about what happened at the Miami airport. I think we'll put that in jury duty right off the top. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
No bots, no scripts, no, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. Just actual flawed people. Real Radio 104.1. Guaranteed human.
This is Chris Broussard. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Discover.
It'll be the Seahawks and Patriots meeting in Super Bowl 60. Seattle took down the Rams to win the NFC title. Sam Darnold, 3 touchdown passes for the Seahawks. And the Patriots held off the Broncos in snowy Denver to win the AFC. The Magic tried to end a 3-game skid tonight. They visit Cleveland. The Magic lost at home to the Cavs on Saturday. And college basketball, UCF will be back at it tomorrow night hosting Arizona State. I'm Matt McCoy.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at Discover.
Hello! School mic activated. We're behind the scenes. Folks, I really have to pee. So stand by. I will be right back, I promise. I'll be looking at your comments in the meantime. Yeah? I wash my hands, okay? I always do. I wash my hands. J-Rod, by the way, I'm going to make an example out of your comment, J-Rod. Says, observing BP or ICE, meaning observing Border Patrol or ICE, is agitating and interfering. But storming the Capitol is your God-given right. Now, I'm going to use this as an example because it's everything that's wrong with some sort of feedback like this. When you say observing Border Patrol or ICE is agitating or interfering, if you're addressing that at me, of course observing is not agitating. You're ignoring the fact that the people who I'm speaking of are specifically not observing. Renee Good was specifically not observing. They are interfering is what they're doing. By intention, they are interfering. They are agitators, and they are agitating. Just take it, dude. Just say, like, I like that. Just say, I support that. That's fine, but they are not just protesters. They're agitating and interfering, and I'm not talking about anybody who's an observer. Then you say, but storming the Capitol is your God-given right. I don't even know what that's a response to. Who are you responding to? Huh? This continues to be an issue where I say X and people go, oh yeah, really? Why? And it's like, please engage with what with the actual content of what I'm saying, and please don't engage in adding fantasy to the situation to try to argue against it. That's all I ask for. Wasson, if he didn't have an ID card and was committing a crime, he was not lawfully carrying. I haven't seen anything at all to suggest that he was unlawfully carrying this weapon. I've seen the opposite. I have seen nothing to suggest that that's true. Sean was agitating his willy a few minutes ago. I was, and then I washed my hands. All videos showed him observing, nothing more. You're just being dishonest. He was on the front lines of the agitators who were battling with ICE officers. He was trying to get into it with the officers in particular that were holding this woman, and he got into a skirmish with the ICE officers. He was purposely putting himself on the front row to agitate ICE because he believes that he's fighting in some moral battle against them. He believes he's justified in doing this, but you don't have to pretend, right? Just like you don't want right-wing people to pretend, you shouldn't pretend either. There's no use. 120. Responding to himself to make himself correct. Isn't that the case so often? Sheep can't focus with reason. True. True. Implying you're a Nazi? Yeah. I mean, if everybody's a Nazi, no one's a Nazi, and you just wasted the next word. Now we're out of insults. What do you call somebody and get a rise out of them if you've ruined all the insults? Come on. Okay, jury duty. Let's talk about the panic at the Miami airport, because this is pretty wild. I've got some great videos. Come on, ride. Here we go.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Rasmussen University is where passion meets education, offering over 60 career-focused programs ranging from nursing and early childhood education to business and IT. Whether you're starting fresh or leveling up, there's a path here built for your goals. Learn more at rasmussen.edu.
Occupying the space between high society and prison tattoos. This is the news.
courtrooms around the country. Boy, are there some interesting stories. Also, what happened at the Miami airport? Chaos, an evacuation, all sorts of good drama on that front. We'll get to that in just a moment. One thing that caught my eye over the weekend, I wish there was audio of this, but alas, I have not found audio of this just yet. But I guess Trump did an interview with the New York Post on Friday, and he was talking about the mission to go in and capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
And Trump was like, I'm not allowed to talk about the weapon. I'm not allowed to talk about it. He said, it's called the discombobulator.
No, it's not. That's not what, he said.
And I said, I've never heard a more boomer name for some kind of like technology-based weapon. He said, it's called the discombobulator.
It's like ask a 6-year-old to name your weapon.
The discombobulator. I'm not allowed to talk about it, he said. He said the weapon made Venezuelan equipment not work. They never got their rockets off. They had Russian and Chinese rockets, and they never got one off. I have a theory on this. All right, before jury duty, I'm going to float it out there. I'm going to admit it's a conspiracy theory. But here's my conspiracy theory on this front. I think our U.S. forces, the what were they? The muskrats or the what was I calling
rats.
them? The street rats are the listeners. The otters. The otters.
Yeah.
The otters,
because they're not the SEALs. They're not the Navy SEALs.
The actual group of military professionals who went in and grabbed Maduro and his wife in the middle of the night in this amazing operation. They go in there, and I think that they just were better trained and more skilled than the Cubans who were guarding the president of Venezuela and then the Venezuelan armed forces. I think that Venezuela was pounding their chest, and they didn't really have a lot to hold off a superior force like this. But one of the Venezuelan officers said they hit us with some sort of gun and people were like throwing up and bleeding out of their eyes and ears and stuff. And then Trump goes with discombobulator. I have half a mind to believe all of this is just nonsense, but it's like, why not lean into it to make our adversaries more scared of us and make them think that we have some sort of discombobulator weapon? I don't know if we really have a discombobulator. I know these types of weapons exist.
I've seen the discombobulator.
I know that like sonic weapons exist. I know that there are weapons that can disable electronics, EMF kind of stuff. I know that all these things exist. But I feel like it probably wasn't that big of a part of this mission, but the story has kind of gotten away from us. And it sounds so much more scary to be like, you don't want to mess with us. We've got the discombobulator.
I immediately think of the neuralizer from Men in Black. Even the one that was on top of the truck.
But there's a 0% chance the military has called this thing a discombobulator. There's no way. It was like, all right.
They probably have a code name for it, named after something American.
It says it's a pulsed energy weapon. The discombobulator, I'm not allowed to talk about it. Okay, well, we'll see. Here we go. Let's get into it. Let's do jury duty.
Court is now in session, so put your phone down and pay attention before we call the bailiff over to whip your ass. You're now on jury duty with the News Junkie.
Jury duty brought to you by the one, the only Mo DeWitt of the DeWitt Law Firm. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. 800-CALL-MO, 800-CALL-MO, or go to justcallmo.com. Quick shout out to Mo. When you're looking for an attorney, remember, some of these folks aren't the best of people, but I want you to know stuff about like Mo and who he is. Chris emails tips@thenewsjunkie.com. It says, Mo is the man. Mo is the man. My daughter is a huge hockey fan, so I reached out to Mo. Mo's a sponsor of a local hockey team. And he said, Mo hooked it up big for her 13th birthday with some hockey tickets. She was so excited when I gave her the news. Hell of a guy, says Chris. He does that kind of stuff for people just like you all the time. So keep that in mind. Good dude. Very cold in Chicago at the moment, but good dude overall.
He get stuck there?
I don't know. I don't know if he's back now, but it might have just been a quick little trip back and forth to go see Buddy Guy. But Mo should join us, I would imagine, on the show at some point this week.
He'll still be thawing out.
Yeah, probably. It's so cold out there in some of these places. There has been a lot of chaos at the airports, too. Now, let me go to my tabs for Miami Airport. I've got some clips here. Stay by the dump button because I don't know if there's anything bad in these.
Ready to dump?
It says a police explosives dog at the Miami International Airport smelled something suspicious near upper door 21, and there was a bag that was in question, and I think this is some of the audio. Let's listen.
Watch office to fire commander.
Okay.
Go ahead, watch office. Fire commander, be advised, we just got a call that a dog alerted to an explosive at upper door 21. The police is starting to evacuate. Upper door 21.
All right, this is Miami International Airport.
Understood. You can start outside units. I'll be done here in about 2
All right,
minutes.
so it appears that was the dog indicating explosives.
Sounds like Call of
near
Duty.
some sort of bag or something. And I have more clips. I don't know what else they say here, but let's try another one. Let's see what this is.
We're arrival here by door 20. They told us it's by 21 underneath some chairs.
Underneath some chairs. That's the bag in question. One more.
And they coming. Command, go ahead. All right, we could release all the units on scene, and you could terminate command.
I don't know what that means. Terminate command.
Command and copy, releasing all
That's when
units
you
on scene.
take your command and you terminate it.
I guess so. They're releasing all the units. It was pandemonium. Here's some of the airport behind the scenes. There's people everybody had to be evacuated out of the Miami International Airport, which is a massive airport. Very, very big airport.
That's so busy.
Not only did they have to bring these folks outside. Oh, this is it. Wow. This is outside of the terminal.
Insane.
It sucks,
Do you
man.
know how much chaos?
Oh.
That's one of the busiest airports in Florida. I mean, you go to Fort Lauderdale because you want to avoid Miami Airport at all costs.
Right. And they told them all because of this mysterious package that they all had to go outside. So there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people outside. And then I believe just by default, that means that they all have to go back through security.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then,
But without
Jesus.
their bags?
Well, some of them have bags. Some of them, they don't, but they all got forced outside here because this dog hit on this suspicious bag. All right, we have a lot more. This DHS officer getting his finger bit off. We'll discuss that in a bit. Many other emails coming in. We got to get back to our doodles and see if we can get some other folks on the board here with some pretty impressive doodles for Rate My Blank today. Doodle edition, C-Lane. All you have to do is draw him and submit it as a photo dispatch. Quick break. We'll get all geared up for the final hour of the show, Power Hour, coming up next on the News Junkie.
Wherever your plans take you on Super Sunday, you can take the big game with you. From the opening kickoff to the presentation of the Lombardi Trophy, Real Radio 104.1 is the home of Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 60.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
There's a crash getting cleared up on Osceola Polk Line Road near Old Lake Wilson Road. A crash on Colonial Drive at Blackwood Avenue. Look out for emergency crews on the roadways. On the major roadways, you won't be running into any trouble affecting your afternoon.
Hey, you.
676-8477 from the traffic center.
Last hour of the show.
James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored
Power
by
Hour.
Super Sure.
Do you own a small business? You need to hear this.
How's our poll going?
The seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure.
TheNewsJunkie.com/poll. You have unlocked a bonus stream, and it will either be this Saturday or Sunday. Vote on whether it should be Saturday or Sunday over on TheNewsJunkie.com/poll. Vote for Aston. All right, let's see. So far, Sunday is winning. Sunday is winning over Saturday. Let your vote be heard. We're going to get a new goal tomorrow, but we'll have this sucker scheduled for Sunday. And then we'll probably have one last question for you as to what time period, and then we'll be locked in for our Sunday bonus stream. Bonus stream will be 2 hours of color correction. Maybe. By the way, how's audio today on the show? How's audio? I noticed on Friday that the audio from the stream, complicated, but the audio from the stream when I'm over here, delayed audio, is what was overblown. It was overmodulated, even though the internal audio as you Secret Shows subscribers might notice in the latest 2 Secret Shows, the internal studio audio sounds much better. The Secret Shows audio and video sounds much better. But I noticed the stream was overmodulated and it was coming in a little too hot. C-Lane changed a special setting that turned that down a little bit. It's coming from HQ back into here. And I hope that it sounds a bit better today. 10 out of 10 audio sounds great. Sounds very clean. Good. Also, I turned the audio on Skull Mic up a little bit too. So hopefully that's improved things. Constantly working on improving. Sunday, I do not do church, but it should be after church time. True. I think that's a good point. It's just, it seems better to do it like a nice little afternoon thing. There's no football games going on.
Hey, Dad, wait up. You're one step ahead.
1 minute. Chat, question for you. Yes or no, chat? Are you watching the Super Bowl? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Yes or no? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Yes or no? And we'll get some good drama going for the last hour. Here we go.
I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list. Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. From car accidents to personal injury cases, Mo has you covered. Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM, HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station guaranteed human.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. C-R-E-D-I-T. Credit. Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Where breaking news meets broken people. This is the News Junkie.
Show, go over to the website. It's thenewsjunkie.com. Thenewsjunkie.com. We'll get more dispatches and emails worked in just a moment. More drama coming up here in a bit as well. But very quickly, side quest. Was just trying to ask people over on chat, are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Now, it's not coming up this next weekend, but the weekend after that, because now things are set between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Again, this team that faced each other not even that long ago, and now we'll be back for Super Bowl 60. Between C-Lane, run some numbers on this. I mean, this may be an AI thing.
I'm running.
Out of all of the Super Bowls, how many involved the Patriots or the Seahawks? How many of the Super Bowls in total
are significantly
so
more,
many?
Right?
I mean, they've been in a lot. I think they may have been in 12 or something or more.
14.
Let's see. As of the end of the 2025 NFL season, does that mean the end of this season? Are we counting this Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think so.
Heading into Super Bowl 60 in February, there have been 15 Super Bowls that featured either the New England Patriots or the Seattle Seahawks. That's 12 appearances by the Patriots. And 4 by the Seahawks.
Damn.
Okay. Throw Kansas City into that. Throw the Chiefs into that as well.
Who's had the most appearances then?
It has to be the Patriots, yeah. Like we literally had this exact showdown in the Super Bowl not that long ago with the Patriots and the Seahawks.
All right. Now, if we throw the Chiefs in the mix, we're talking 22 Super Bowls, 12 appearances by the Patriots, 7 by the Chiefs, and 4 by the Seahawks.
So over a third of all Super Bowls had those 3 teams in them. That's pretty stunning to think about. Over a third of all Super Bowls had the Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Seattle Seahawks involved in the game. And
Go
that's
Dolphins.
kind of wild. And the Dolphins were how many? Just for clarification.
One.
Not a whole bunch.
I don't know.
Not quite as many, but that's going to be a big game. It's going to be exciting for all, I'm sure. And we'll see what everybody thinks about
Dolphins
that.
have been in 5 times.
Oh,
okay. That's not
1,
bad.
2.
not in my lifetime.
Yeah, they're old ones. It's like, oh, way back in the day, laces out,
Fins up.
Oh, the Dan Marino stuff and all that. Anyhow, let's get to this little tidbit here, because this is real. The Department of Homeland Security has shared a photograph because they said another thing that happened recently was one of their agents was getting into it with these anti-ICE people. And the agent had his finger bit off, and they posted the finger. The finger in a jar.
Nasty. I saw the photo of his finger it was still attached to his hand. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I saw
Didn't
that
see
where
the
it's bleeding.
specimen cup.
Yeah, this is like a little cup here. I'm going to put this up on See It Now. Let me get a snapshot of it right now. It's something to behold.
That cup looks familiar.
This is size cup that they give you for those samples, C-Lane?
I gave them too.
I told you
C-Lane
they
filled
give
it
you
up.
way bigger of a cup than you need.
Oh, God. All right, I'm going to put this up right now.
It's better than the other way
DHS
around, man.
Officer's finger bit off. And I'll put this up so you can see it over on See It Now. And they were kind of spreading this story around. I think they were trying to say, hey, you think it's bad that guy got shot and killed? Our guy got his finger bit off. And it's like, I don't know if that really compares quite as well as you think it does. One person is dead and the other person is missing a finger. People shouldn't be biting off fingers. But, yeah, I'm going to say that the murder part is a little bit worse in my particular opinion. But they said the story along with this is Tricia McLaughlin, the spokeswoman for DHS, said the protests against ICE and Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis have gotten so chaotic that protesters are now apparently biting the fingers off of federal officers. Do you see how people do this? This is sort of the frustration I was talking about earlier. They're interchangeably using the words protesters and, to me, agitators, which are different things. Protesters are, I think of the protests that happened over the weekend against the ICE stuff, even though it was like 2 degrees outside in Minnesota. Totally peaceful. People were protesting. When you're protesting, you don't have to wear like a little outfit like you're a soldier in some LARPing war. You're not wearing body armor and you don't have night vision goggles and stuff on when you're a protester. There's different things going on, and they use them interchangeably. The person who bit off the finger of a federal officer, to me, is somebody who's like an agitator who's fighting with these ICE officers or the Department of Homeland Security.
Or just a protester that was hungry.
Or somebody really looking for a munch. Oh, here's the thing you were talking about. You could see the part of the finger that got bit by whoever this person was. The spokesperson said the agent's finger was bitten off by one of 2, quote, rioters. So now we've used rioters. All these words are just used interchangeably. I think it says McLaughlin shared a couple of unsettling pictures on X. Spokeswoman said the agent's finger was bit off. And then she had the finger inside the cup at the hospital. I think this person, yeah, okay. They just go into talking about the shooting where they said the agents attempted to disarm the individual. Blah blah blah. It doesn't say this person was arrested, but I think they had somebody in custody for this. I think one of the stories I saw said that there was an arrest, but I might be wrong. He will lose his finger. Is this the press conference? No, this is just the photographs that they posted.
It's weird to say that he's going to lose his finger when not much of it was bit off.
Yeah. And then they have somebody arrested here. I think this is like, we're to believe that this person is the person who did it because they have the officer and then they have this person who looks like they've been arrested, or multiple people that look like they've been arrested, but they don't give any other details on it. They just show the dude's finger in a little plastic jar, which is up on See It Now if you want to take a look at that over at thenewsjunkie.com. Super weird and gross. There was a lot of people there was a lot of law enforcement reacting to the weather over the weekend. and they said, will you please stop calling the police on people doing donuts in the snow? Law enforcement had to say, you're clogging up the lines by calling the cops for people doing donuts in the snow. I didn't know this was a big thing, but I guess people like to take their cars out and do donuts in the snow when it snows real bad like this. And for those of you on YouTube, there's an example of what was going on. People just get out in the parking lot and just get in the truck and just spin out in the snow.
Why would you call the cops on that?
I don't know, but some officer was like, please stop calling the police over people doing donuts in the snow.
That looks
we have
so much fun.
More important things to do right now, and the truck is just spinning around. And there's another truck in the background doing it too. Celine, maybe you would have the desire to do this.
That truck is ballsy. That's very close to that pole. One wrong move.
This one's going in circles around a pole in a parking lot.
You're not going to get Geico out there.
Yeah, that one had to stop because one more move and that would have been straight into that pole.
Dang.
This is maybe a bad idea, but it does look kind of like
Celine, unrelated. Can I borrow your truck?
No.
You could probably
I'm going to be busy doing the donuts.
You have a Ram, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a Hemi, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Sounds like donuts to me.
Yeah, let's get out there. It feels like you're wasting it by not doing that, if I'm honest with you.
Agreed.
All right, let's see what
Maybe
else
if we get that,
have.
if West Palm gets the snow, I think we might have some donut weather.
All right, fine. There's a lot more clips that I need to get to at some point in time, but one other thing that I wanted to talk about was the coach of the Maple Leafs. Let's see if we can find out some more details on this. But the coach of the Maple Leafs showed up to a game and said that he had been in a, quote, gym accident.
Whoa. That's how he showed up?
He has a really, really bad shiner. And it
With
looks
dried
like
blood on it.
It looks like somebody ate the top of his head. I don't know how this could have happened at a gym. I'm getting a screenshot of this for See It Now, too.
I mean, you didn't even, that's stitches.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Those are stitches in his forehead, and his forehead is all swollen up and bubbled up and stuff. This guy, when asked about this, he said he had a gym accident.
Okay, don't go to the gym anymore, I guess, because that is rough looking. That's significant. I thought it was just dried blood. That's how big the incision or the break of skin is.
It looks like somebody tried to peel his head off. It looks like somebody tried to
puts the
open
lotion
him up.
on the skin?
Take a look at this. I'm putting it up right now on See It Now, so you could take a peek. It's the coach. Did you see anything else about that, Sealand?
Yeah, they have he gave a presser. I don't know if it was before the game or after it.
I'd love to hear it.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Go here. Just had an accident.
Speaking of banged up, you okay? Yeah, I'll address it because you're gonna see it tonight. I had an accident in the gym yesterday. The other guy looks way worse. There's three of them. No, it was just
60 years old. This guy.
It's tough, man. Like it was stupid. It was just a bad accident. What
happened?
It's on me, my fault. And I'm fine.
Squats.
When the team sees you looking like that, do they get it riled up?
Oh, they laughed. They loved it. Especially when I told them
won't say exactly what it is. Oh, especially when I told them what happened. What happened?
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it. Nobody needs to. It's all good.
You know why?
You're lifting weights?
Yeah, something like that.
It sounds like it's something embarrassing.
Cagey.
Yeah, folks, I put it up on See It Now on thenewsjunkie.com. Go to thenewsjunkie.com, hit the See It Now section. Here's how I'm going to describe it. One of his eyes is a really, really bad black and blue.
He fell on his
bad.
face.
He has other damage. I don't know if you guys would agree, but it looks like his cheek is kind of messed up too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks over here like it's kind of busted and bruised.
It just might be the swelling moving around.
But it's that,
got like a hematoma
top part.
Yeah.
That what and then he ran into, he must have passed out, maybe?
His skull has what looks like a half circle on it that would be equivalent with like a shark bite trying to take a giant chunk of his head away from him.
So what would be
freaky.
embarrassing? Because he said, he was asked, lifting weights, something like that.
Yeah.
It's far more embarrassing, right? Safe to assume?
I would
say
like
so.
The stair climber and then misstepped.
They were goading him to say, like, go ahead, tell us what happened. Tell us what happened. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. Why not? What happened, man? What went down
What
here?
if he was just going to get a drink of water from the fountain and ate it?
Then he should never be in the gym again. He should stay away from whatever the hell was happening. Maybe could it have been a hockey skate? I don't know what happened. It looks like somebody tried to open it like a can of food. That's what happened to this gentleman.
What if he was getting a facelift and it went awry?
I mean, it kind of looked like there was some sort of surgery going on. But take a look at it over on thenewsjunkie.com in the See It Now section.
Said he received about 50 stitches on his forehead.
Whoa!
Says, I think everybody, they're worried, like, what happened and all that. He told reporters about people's first reaction. That's normal. It doesn't look very good, but I'm fine, though. He said the best thing was having a conversation Saturday with a former NHL teammate who also had an accident at the gym. He did the same thing I did, so I actually feel better. It put a smile on my face. Oh, we got to find out who that teammate is, man.
You have a smile on your forehead, my guy.
He has a frown on his forehead.
Yeah. What is going on in this gym? Back to the situation in Minnesota. On CNN, they had Bovino from the Department of Homeland Security on to talk about their account of the shooting and how the videos contradicted the official account, which is just true. The videos do not line up with this idea that this person was hell-bent on hurting or causing as much mayhem as they could. It just wasn't true. They were going out there, and it was clearly misinformation that anybody with a brain who sees the video is going to know. So let's see what happened on CNN.
You keep saying that he assaulted a federal officer, but again, we have not seen evidence that happened. It looked like he was on the defense, and again, he had a gun legally. It sort of feels like we're in the upside down, where we have law enforcement and conservatives who are very pro Second Amendment saying the problem was that he had a gun legally.
The problem is, as I said several times now, is he injected himself. He put himself where he did not need to be. He put himself and put law enforcement officers in jeopardy through his actions. These were his actions, not law enforcement officers' action. We had to react to an individual that came there for a specific reason. And again, what that reason is, we're going to find more out about that in the coming days. I'll be interested to see what his reason for being there.
This is all just misdirection.
Well, you can't ask him, dude.
Yeah, that's true. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what his reason was for being there. The problem is not that he was there and you arrested him, because if he was, then I'd say, okay, you arrested him. You're going to charge him with interfering with law enforcement? Then hash that out from there. The problem is not with that. The problem is that he was killed. Correct. He was shot and killed. And so if he's shot and killed, then it's on federal law enforcement who shot and killed him to prove that it was a justified killing of this guy.
Just injecting themselves, and he's the one that chose to be there, then I guess that justifies shooting everybody that was present.
Well, that's
we have
the problem.
5 different angles, so everyone should have been shot dead for being there.
That's the problem. You can't say he had a gun. Well, yes, he had a legal gun. Having a gun legally is not reason to shoot somebody or kill them. You can say that he was getting up in the faces of these officers and he shouldn't have been there or whatever, but it doesn't make it all right for someone to use lethal force on that person. That those things, he's just avoiding the actual question. Was there a legitimate reason to pull the trigger and kill a human being? That's the question. You can't say, well, he shouldn't have been there. I agree. These people shouldn't be there. I don't think that they should be there out there fighting with ICE officers. I think it's bad. I think encouraging anybody to do this is bad. And you've seen what happens in these cases, but that doesn't make it right or legal to pull the trigger on the person. You have to have a valid reason to do so. I just don't think
agents were arresting a violent criminal illegal alien doing their lawful, ethical, and moral duties in Minneapolis. That's the question.
That doesn't matter either.
But the question is also, why is an American citizen now dead for the second time who was there to document, in this case, and...
here are some of the things Sean has said about cops over the years. And then, hey, by the way, Sean also had a gun on him. Those things don't matter. It doesn't give anybody the right to use lethal force against the other person. That's the only question that actually matters in this. And I don't think he was actually addressing it there at all. But there's that clip. Let's see. Any of these other ones matter? I'll save these for the end if we need to. We'll get to more of your feedback next, and I want to work in some more doodles, okay? Because we're still doing Rate My Blank, and for
some
today,
good doodles so far.
Today it's Rate My Doodle, and it's the first time we've ever done this. You have to draw. Your assignment is C-Lane, all right? Draw him. Everybody can see the submissions that are over at thenewsjunkie.com in the dispatches section, but we'll peek at a couple more of those as we roll on and get to whatever your feedback is. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Keep an eye out for a crash on Lee Road by the interstate at Anderson Street. Getting cleared up there on I-4, Florida's Turnpike, I-95. You won't be running into too much trouble. No accidents slowing you down. The traffic lights are working incorrectly where Orange Blossom Trail meets Central Florida Parkway. Use that intersection as a four-way stop. And if you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Refresh your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Reimagine your bathroom and get up to 40% off select faucets during Lowe's Bath Savings event and transform your space. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Can't believe we are approaching the later portion of January, and if you haven't done that New Year reset yet, what are you waiting for? Hammer and Nails is waiting for you with that New Year reset. It's a complimentary signature upgrade on your first visit. All you have to do is mention my name, C-Lane, and Real Radio 104.1 when you book your appointment. You go to hammerandnailsgrooming.com. They've got all the different offerings there, just spelled out for you. You can find the location that's nearest you. And when you go there, it's not going to be your everyday barber shop that smells like chemicals and you're in and out real quick. They're going to take good care of you. Hot towels, full bar in there waiting for you. So book today at hammerandnailsgrooming.com or download the app and become a member. Hammer and Nails. Come as you are, leave as you want to be.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don.
Hello. Breaking news. Breaking news, everybody. We'll get back to the show in just a moment. A statement from John Fetterman, a surprising voice of reason in trying times. Hey, you guys. Senator John Fetterman says Miss Good, talking about Renee Good, and Mr. Peretti should still be alive. My family grieves for theirs. The operation in Minneapolis should stand down and immediately end. Again, this is John Fetterman. It's become ungovernable and a dangerous urban theater for civilians and law enforcement that is incompatible with the American spirit. As a very pro-immigration Democrat and ranking member of the Subcommittee on Border Management, I believe our nation deserves a secured border and that we should deport all criminal immigrants. I also spent significant time hearing many different positions on funding bills, and I will never vote to shut our government down, especially our Defense Department. We must find a way forward, and I remain committed to being a voice of reason and common sense, says John Fetterman.
And you're going to love a little bit better, if you know what I mean. It's Red Mountain Weight Loss. Don't be fooled. Nothing boosts testosterone like actual testosterone. It's a game changer, and you're going to look...
Also, there were reports that federal agents took a person into custody after a chase. Somebody crashed into a pole in St. Paul near federal officers. And we've got a couple other things we can work in here.
Book your video appointment today. Go to redmountainweightloss.com or dial pound 250 on your phone and say the keyword Red Mountain.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Unsure.
Probably doing donuts. True! Snow nuts. I would like to do a snow nut. Not gonna lie to you. I support it. I'm a snow nut fan.
By February 28th. Just keep in mind, this offer is available only if you didn't file a TurboTax last year. It's time to break free from your fear of messing up. Start filing.
Somebody sends an angry email and says, you guys say too much. I don't think I say that much. Or no, like. He says, William says you all say like way too much. Cool it. Cool it. My boomer meter is pegging when you say cool it. Cool it, pal. Cool it. Like, who cares? Like, I don't tend to use like as a crutch. I think I am able to put together a pretty decent sentence. I know a guy in radio. I don't need to call him out. But I know a guy in radio who worked in one of the biggest markets in the United States of America. And that guy, his entire focus as a broadcaster is linguistics. And don't say this, you say this. And it was nitpicking. All of it was nitpicking over language. Little things. You know, it's secretaries of state, not secretary of states. You know, and that's a fair one. But it was very little linguistic things, like policing of language. Tiny little issues. And I always thought to myself, somebody who does that is like a hall monitor of the broadcasting world. You have to be able to communicate and get something out of your brain to the viewer or the listener so they can comprehend what you're saying. And then you should have a pretty interesting perspective that you're giving them, so at least maybe they find it worth tuning into. But obsessing over things like the use of the word like, especially when I don't really think I do that much, is probably more of a self-report. Language is important? True. He should have just said I use the word true. I like the word true. If he said that, I'd be like, true. Indeed, sir. He can't help it. Sean speaks MAGA, so unless you're deaf, blind, or dumb, you'll be completely lost. Very witty. High-end stuff, sir. Good criticism. Mongoloid detected. Mongoloid detected. Twitch users are some needy bitches? True. Sean uses unhinged too much. Unhinged is a great word. It's a fantastic way to add a little bit of elevation to the unpredictability of the situation you're describing. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Come back.
February 22nd. See all the nominees and place your vote at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
Audible is a proud sponsor of the Audible Audio Pioneer Award. Explore the best selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals all in one easy app. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
For all your plumbing needs, go to modernpi.com.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. C-R-E-D-I-T. Credit. Enter it now at realradio.fm and answer your phone if you get the call. Good luck.
Three best friends diving into the deep end of internet culture. This
What a time to be alive. Always something exciting going on in the world. And we got the Super Bowl coming up. We've got all sorts of things to keep our focus on. And I'll do my best to bring everything, as always, that's happening out there to you before you can get it anywhere else. I got a great story. I literally do. And plus, on a day where I wish we could shift away from some of the ICE stuff because it's so damn divisive and people are very, very locked into their beliefs on this. I happen to agree with John Fetterman, who is just saying, look, we need to start readjusting how we do some of this. And what's happening in Minneapolis isn't productive in the slightest. Bring ICE to another city where they can get along better for a bit with local law enforcement. Show what kind of success you can have in a place like that and why other cities should want it. And then see if you can get cities to have their citizens demand that ICE visit their city. Wow, look what they did there. They got these people, and here was some of the crimes that they committed, and they're now off the streets, and we're better for it. We want that to happen here. Got to win some hearts and minds here. I think John Fetterman's right about that, his criticism there. But I do have something totally and completely different. I haven't done this in a while, but we might as well consider this the greatest story in the world. 1, 2, 3, why not? Wow.
Hold on, folks, because we're about to do the greatest.
You're not going to believe this.
Story of the world.
All right, let me pull this up because you'll say it's fake news.
It's been
I know
a
you
year.
will. Here is a story from today for the BBC. And this is real, all right? It says, every year, doctors in this hospital in the Yunnan province of China brace themselves for an influx of people with an unusual complaint. So at this particular hospital in China, people are flooding in, and hundreds of them have this same issue, and it's a weird one. The patients come with a strikingly odd symptom. They are having visions of pint-sized, elf-like figures marching under doors, crawling up walls, and clinging to furniture.
Do you understand why we would say that was fake?
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems a little strange, but it's the BBC. This is allegedly real. The hospital treats hundreds of cases like these every year. All share a common culprit. It's called Lanmaua asiatica, a type of mushroom that forms symbiotic relationships with pine trees in nearby forests and is a locally popular food, known for its savory, umami-packed flavor. It's sold in markets and appears on restaurant menus. You must be careful when you're cooking it, though. Otherwise, people will start hallucinating. At a mushroom hot pot restaurant there, a server set a timer for 15 minutes and said, do not eat it until the timer goes off or you might see little people. It's so weird.
Oh, that is so tempting to eat it before the timer goes off.
They put that responsibility on their consumers.
How about you not serve it until the timer goes off?
Yeah.
There's some sort of fish or delicacy that if it's not cooked right, it'll kill you within 5 minutes. This seems like more fun.
Yeah, this seems way more fun than that. The pufferfish certainly could be deadly, I think.
And what the kingfish, you have to cut off the spikes because the spikes are bad, I think.
Yeah, I imagine that might be tough to eat as well.
There are things that we do eat and people eat in different cultures that are dangerous. And there are things that people eat that make you trip out. But I think it's so bizarre that there's a real particular focus of the hallucinations and that you see little miniature people.
Yeah.
That sounds like, it makes me think of, what was the Jack Black movie? Was it Gulliver's or Gulliver's Travels or something? Jack Black is this big giant and all the little tiny people are, trying to fight him. And if they throw a spear, it's the equivalent of like a toothpick hitting him. This is the world that they sink into. And they were wondering what was happening there, but people continue to have these hallucinations. They're called Lilliputian hallucinations. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of people who have the perception of tiny humans, animals, or fantasy figures around them. The patients saw these figures moving around everywhere, the researchers wrote. Usually there were more than 10 tiny little beings on the scene. They saw them on their clothes.
On the scene?
This sounds insane.
They saw them on their clothes when they were dressing and saw them on their dishes when they were eating. Their visions were even more vivid when their eyes were closed, they said. And I guess it's from this particular mushroom. So there's this huge study.
I love the idea where you want to stop this. So you close your eyes and you're like, please make it stop. And the visions were even more insane. There's
little
nothing
people are like,
you can do to get away.
That's so fun. I like that.
So these are the bolete mushrooms or bolete?
No, it's umami or something.
No, umami's the flavor, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the flavor.
Oh, gosh.
I get around,
Sorry, Sailor, what were you doing before you played the music?
That just happened. I was hacked, guys.
It's called this.
I was
it
just
says
hacked.
Lanmaoa. Here, LANMAOA. Asiatica. ASIATICA is the type of mushroom, I think, that makes you see these little people.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's
available in the U.S.
No, you could buy this?
I'm asking.
Oh, my God.
I think that'd be a fun way
Holy
to do
cow.
Share the Show Tuesday.
If we did a live show and we took these mushrooms and saw little people the whole time.
I gotta say, the picture I'm looking at on BBC, they look delicious. It's
The mushrooms?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, not bad.
They look
Right here.
buttered and lightly fried.
Yeah, they're yellow underneath the mushroom cap, and they're pretty good sized mushrooms. And if you cook them just right, I guess they swear by the flavor that they add. But if you cook them just wrong,
Little people everywhere.
you see little tiny people all over the place, which sounds fun. It's almost directly in line with a dream I had that I wanted to turn into a movie script this weekend, where I had this dream. I told Courtney, dreams are boring, I know, but bear with me. I said, Courtney, I had a dream that I wanted to turn into a movie script. I said, in it, there was some sort of fracture in time, and all of a sudden, people started to notice little tiny humans all around, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kid size, like little micro machine size people walking
Isn't
around
that a
all over the
wrinkle in
place.
time?
Well, and then I said, and then people discovered that because of whatever happened, there was a little version of every single one of us. So of all these little people that were all around the world, we each had our own.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Then we discovered that if somebody kills your little tiny person, you die as well. So everybody is scrambling to capture their
What if
little-
somebody bangs your little tiny person?
You're dead too.
Yeah.
You're dead.
I mean, think about the physics of that.
Well, it was a different little tiny person.
And the dream that I wanted to turn into a script, everybody had to capture sort of with like a little cloche kind of thing, like a clear little cover. You had to capture your little tiny person and make sure you ensured the safety of them, because if somebody else killed the little tiny person, you died as well. And I thought this would be. I got new IP for you, Hollywood. All right, my movie is for sale.
Made for TV, you think?
No, this is going to be
feature film.
I need a budget behind this. I need some sort of budget behind this, because you got to make the little people, and it can't be a letdown like that one. Was that Ben Affleck?
No, Matt Damon.
Yes, and I know
Can't be
exactly
like
what
that
you're
one.
talking about.
Yeah, we can't let people
It's
down
awful.
like that. People get excited about movies with little tiny people in them, and you could really get some piqued interest, and then we don't deliver. Boom. So maybe this could be worked into the plot as well. Now that I see this from the BBC,
Or just
Let
give
us
the
know what you think.
moviegoers that mushroom.
Oh, everybody. I mean, you don't even need to do any special effects on the screen if that's the case. That's how it works. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got all of the final things to put into the show before Monday is a wrap. Stories that didn't make the cut, final dispatches. Today I learned to wrap everything up for a Monday. And that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real radio is the Jim Colbert Show. Loud mouths, zero filters, and one very confused FCC agent. The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Despite our mild start to our Monday morning, we're going to be expecting some big changes to take shape here across Central Florida. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson, and for today, we're going to be expecting a cold front to push through, helping to bring with it about a 30 to 40.
All right. Let's rate the show. Rate the show, baby. Oh my gosh, what poor timing. My chat window just reset itself. Now I can't see what you guys are rating the show. That's no good. No, I don't want to change that. 9 out of 10 movie scripts about little people that need to be punched up. 8 shroom-fueled ASSs. 10 sea lane doodles. Oh, thank you. Insightful show today, 10. 10 out of 10 Little People Dreams. There were some really good doodles. Everybody did a good job. I'm refreshing now. Da, da, da. Beach Lover, absolutely AI. Whoever did this AI, it only looks a little bit like my kid. That Water Boys, good job. That is an accurate picture that I have. Or actually, it's an accurate shirt that I have. T-back me hugging a Diet Coke. That's... Oh my. There we go.
Easy at-home gut health test. No lab visit, no doctor's office. I sent away the test. A short time later, I had my personalized results that blew me away. The test shows what is happening.
Trying to me with a. They got me with the hangover thing. I like how it's AI, but you put it on some college rule paper, or what? That's not college rule. Whatever that is, drafting paper maybe. I don't know. I look sad in it, too. But T-Back's other one with me hugging the giant Diet Coke is quite funny. That's funny. All right. We have to pick our chatter of the day. And just because it made me laugh so hard, I don't know if it's going to win for the doodle, but Steffi P's chatter for the day. This one is an actual drawing. It seems to be. It's very basic, but kind of got my face. What? Everybody's making my pupils so large. I'm not on drugs. Not on drugs, unfortunately. However, it is about time we land this plane. Go about our Mondays. Should be a nice time. Everybody, you have a good one. I am out for the Dole Mic today. Get that keyword in. You got a little bit more time. Credit is the keyword. YouTube people be winning. All right.
Intense flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Local radio isn't just music. It's your community.
The voices you know, the news you trust, and the conversations that matter.
It's all on the free iHeartRadio app.
The #1 app for radio. Join the millions who already have it on their smartphone.
iHeartRadio.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster. I started Blindster in my garage back in 2010. Since then, we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters nationwide. Our blinds are DIY friendly, guaranteed to fit, and always cheaper than big box stores. Blindster.com.
Where common sense meets complete nonsense. This is the News Junkie.
We're going to wrap everything up for a Monday, everybody. Going to be a wild time all week long on the show, so do hang out. And make sure if you miss anything, you get the podcast over at thenewsjunkie.com. Quick podcast note. If you're a podcaster, please stay strong this week. I'm going to do everything I can to go above and beyond and make sure I'm doing check every possible thing that they put on the list. They're saying, well, some of the spots weren't where you put them, and I think that they are disappearing during the process somewhere. I'm going to do everything perfect as best I can. And let me know.
You're going to have receipts? You need receipts?
Yes, I am. I'm going to record the video of here it is. And I want you, starting with today's podcast, to tell me if the experience is improving or if you're still having those problems. All right? Give me the feedback. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. All right. Well, let's get to it here. Rate My Blank today was Rate My Doodle. And we were taking doodles of our very own Sea Lane. And this is a very rudimentary one that has been sent in here.
That looks like a leprechaun drawing.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but it's got a black eye. I think they put your black eye from the djembe incident along with this.
That is not doodle that was submitted that includes the black eye. I believe
is that true?
Mo Manji had kind of a funny one.
Really made an impact. That was like 7 years ago now, was it?
Hey, it's part of the lore.
Is this real, you think?
I know. I believe this one to be generated, but they did put it over some drafting paper, which is kind of funny.
So good. I wish it was real.
I mean, if it is
so handsome.
There's another one that's in that style that's like right next to it by the same person.
This one is a good sketch of
this one I look
with
sad,
Baby
though.
Jackson.
I look like
a little bit. Yeah, like, oh, God, what's happening?
The other one, I'm hugging a giant Diet Coke.
There's Tanya. And Tanya's got
that one is a good one.
Drawing.
Tanya's got a good line structure there for the beard.
Yeah, that's not bad. And which one did I miss here? There's so many. I mean, there's like tons of these. You could see all of them. It's like AI, right? This is like Chef Boyardee or something, isn't it? Not Chef Boyardee. That's not. That can't be right.
That looks like a friend of mine.
It's some chef with a large plate of food. Everybody, but. Let me see. Maybe the last one I'll do will be over here. This is Playboy. And they said the first one's a fail, but the second one is that's pretty
not
good.
Not bad at all, that second one.
I'm always amazed about how talented these folks are. You guys are really talented. It's really impressive, actually. Texas Claudia. There you go. That's real. I think that was pretty good.
I'm impressed.
My hair looks like it looks like it should be blonde. Like it looks like surfery.
There's so many. Check them out again over on the Submitted Dispatches segment. What do we think was the best? Do we have a favorite of all of this?
It was that first round. All of the second round, fantastic. But I remember all of us kind of exclaimed.
I don't even think this
is
supposed to be me.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite now. That's Animal House-esque. I love that so much.
Folks, go see the visuals over on the newsjunkie.com in the dispatches section. You all tied, okay? You all tied today. They're just absolutely brilliant. There's no winner. Nobody wins. Oh, God, in the last minute, they're throwing them in here. Like, this is good. That's legit good.
It is.
You know?
That's a character artist.
Yeah, this person does this.
You're the winner. Who is this?
Yeah.
Who sent this one in? That is Javi. Javi, you're the winner. That's really good.
Also,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Javi, but
Javi, Javi. I don't know. I mean, Javi. I don't know what I'm.
Next live event.
Can't hear anything.
We want you. That'd be fun.
I think this one's pretty impressive. Go check them out. And Javi, email me or Javi. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. Let's do the final dispatch.
These are the final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play one.
All right. Let's see what we got. Hang on. Let me work this out and work this in. Somebody says, this is Sean skipping while ranting about the podcast skipping.
It could be in the middle of this sentence. I could be saying this sentence.
Brought to you by TurboTax.
All of a sudden, you're getting chumped to a breaking point. I cannot tell anybody until they do something about this at iHeart.
It did happen, actually. That's your crappy internet feed, bud. All right? That's what that is, okay? I think. Or maybe it's just somewhere in the zeitgeist in the Matrix out there. They're trying to hold me back. iHeart is really trying to stomp on me. Let's get to the last one. Let's see. There's
the other
so many.
podcast they just put on Netflix, and then us, they're like, let's put some more ads.
This person, Trout Moose, wants some advice.
Yo, what up, news junkies?
Hey.
All right, I got a pretty serious question. I'm constantly looking for a baby girl, but the problem is I don't have any social media.
Yeah.
So what happens, I have Facebook, but they think I'm a fake person. And even in real life, when I talk to them, they ask for my social media. I got nothing to give them. And don't say I'm doing everything right. And also, I'm not getting social media. It's lame. So any advice would help.
You say a baby girl?
Yeah, that's my first piece of advice. Don't refer to women you want to date.
Hey,
I'm looking for a baby girl.
You want to be my baby girl?
Yeah.
Do you want to be my baby girl? Is different from I'm looking for a baby girl.
That might trigger an investigation.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm looking for a baby girl. Seems very. I would want the
I'll pay
cops to
top
visit
dollar.
you. What's the going rate for a baby girl right now? God,
Perfect.
It's the end of the show. Just ignore them all. And somebody says that when they were trying to order on Papa John's, they've added a new form. I haven't seen this yet, but they said now they ask you to tip the driver for your pizza at Papa John's. And also, you have a field for the employee who made the pizza.
Okay.
Seriously? Seriously? Are they not paying that person?
I don't know. I think they want to get as many people paid with tips as they possibly can. Yeah, it says don't forget the tip, and then you add a tip to the particular thing. And then, hold on, the screenshot I saw said, it doesn't show it on this one. The other version I saw that had like millions of views said, this is for the person who made your pizza. So there was 2 different lines for tips for the delivery person.
Restaurants work.
And they said that they wouldn't let them order carry out unless they tipped as well. That might be some sort of glitch in the app. Or maybe
it's a church all over again where they said, well, here's the church offering and here's the building fund.
Little weird.
One of them, they both go to the same place, but this one is for the building
right.
of the church.
You don't want to worship in crumbles, do you?
Let's get the hell out of here. Here we go. Let's do Today I Learned.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ. So don't get cocky. Now it's time for what we call Today I Learned.
It is Today I Learned for a Monday, January 26, 2026. That's weird. It freaks me out every time. Today I Learned this guy right here.
Phil Collins.
No, Rod Stewart.
That's right. Rod Stewart. He was in a band called The Faces for a while. They once were banned from Holiday Inns, all of them in the United States of America, for 40 years for trashing their rooms. Rod Stewart's band.
Just like Pam at Chili's.
Yeah. The band subsequently stayed at Holiday Inns under the name Fleetwood Mac so that they would get the blame when the hotel rooms were trashed. In one case, they had an $11,000 bill for the damage that was done.
I'm going to do the same thing.
There you go. And finally, today I learned this band right here.
I'm an outlaw.
NERD.
NERD, that's right. I had a rock star. You get to me, I'm a rock star. I had that song queued up 30 seconds ago, and then I realized the first word or the second word was the F word. Let me get rid of that. NERD formed when Pharrell was just 12 years old. He was just a little teeny one. Pharrell, right?
No, I'm saying for real.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, well, that'll be tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Missed any of the show? Get the podcast over at thenewsjunkie.com. We'll see you next time.